Misfit Toys.
Fucking talent.
Hey, what's happening? I'm Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy podcast. Let's take care of this right away, folks. I might sound a little jumpy. I might sound a little weird. There might be a quaver in this voice. I'm frightened. I can't lie to you. I'm a little shaken. I'm a little stirred. So, James Bond would not drink me because I'm both. I'm telling you, all right, here's the deal. You know me. Here's something. What do you know about me? You know a lot of things about me. By the way, it's Thanksgiving. We'll get to that in a second. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Not that you're listening to this now, but it does smell like Thursday, doesn't it? Certainly does. At my place, but then I'm heading over to my brother's house where it will smell like Thanksgiving and potatoes and pies. Oh my God, I'm so excited for it. But in the meantime, first I have to go ahead and take some fucking Xanax or something to calm down my system, because here's this. It's Thursday morning. I'm recording this preamble, I suppose, and then I want to get it to you guys by the afternoon. Go ahead and get it out to you. Here's the deal, though. I was going to record it last night, but then I was sleepy. I'm trying to control my sleep now, so it's a thing where I'm going to bed early and late, and then I'm doing this thing where I'm like, well, I'll record the show later. That's totally fine. And then I saw a late movie last night. What movie did I see? I saw a movie called Glass Onion. It features a Janelle Monáe. It features a Daniel Craig. It features a Kate Hudson. It features well, you know what? Leon, I don't remember the guy's name, sadly. Catherine Hahn, who is always attractive and fun, and a terrific actress. I don't want to say she's just attractive, but, I can't lie. She does it for me. And also, who else was in it? Oh, my God. Ed Norton, who should be in all the movies. Ed Norton should be in every single movie ever made. If you saw Moonrise Kingdom, of course, Fight Club, Primal Fear, this guy, he's a fucking king. And I understand on the set, he's not the best guy. That's what I've heard. I've heard he might be a bit of a handful. But I think that's changed in his later years, and they should give him a chance. You know what? It's about time we gave Ed Norton a chance, isn't it? As there are homeless people all over this land drinking stuff out of a sewer grate. But this guy, he needs a chance. Let's go ahead and throw him one. I saw Glass Onion last night. I'm not going to prejudice you against or for this film. All I know is I saw it. And when you see it, perhaps we can discuss it. Give me a call. Give me a call sometime, but I know just what that'll get me. Oh, let's talk Glass Onion. Oh, it's Ed Norton. All right. Foolishness abounds. And also, let's table this foolishness now, right? Why don't we do that? I'm still frightened. I don't know what to do. I'm spouting all these platitudes and these things out of my mouth. I'm starting, well, not platitudes, really. I guess just a bunch of phrases or talk or singing. It's not even singing. It's doing some heavy lifting. Look at this. My brain is peripatetic because I am frightened. I'm hustling to go to my brother's house, right? So I know I got to do this. So in my brain, I'm like, should I record this and then take a shower, or should I take a shower and then record this? I'm not sure. But I decide on the shower first. I go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a shower. So I go in there to take a shower. And look, before I shower, there are things that need to be taken care of. You know it. I know it. Sometimes I can take care of those things in the shower. Today I decided not to. Today I decided to introduce some visual stimulus. So that gets taken care of. And then I don't even know why I told you that. But then here's why. Fuck yeah. Because now I've got before I do all that, whatever the fuck, I got to brush my teeth before I get in the shower. And then I use mouthwash in the shower, so then I can just spit it all over the place like an animal. But I go into my shower room today. My shower room? I purchased a mansion and I have a shower room. I go to the bathroom, the restroom, the toilet room, whatever the fuck you want to call it, sink room. There's a mirror room. It's the Kleenex room. It's the Puffs with Lotion room. It's the several books you can read to entertain yourself while you're trapped in there for 20 minutes room. Whatever you want to do, folks. Whatever you want to call it. But I go to head in there, right? And, the normal procedure is I have two pebble glass shower doors. And by pebble glass, I mean the cheapest plastic imaginable. They're just fucking brutal. They're super light. So I have to slide them. What I do is I slide one of them closed to the right, and then I slide the other one open so I can reach in and turn on the faucets, right? And I open up the bathtub and I slide the door up and I lean in because I got to lean in to grab the faucets. Hot first, then cold, then shower. And guys, I slid it over and I leaned in and I'm face to face with a bug. All right. Now, again, I'm not expecting this. I'm hustling, man. I'm going, hey, you know what? I'm up. Let's fucking run off a batch. Let's fucking take a shower. Let's go ahead and record a preamble. Let's go to my brother's house and get into a pie coma and fall asleep in a recliner while watching bad football. I'm excited for all of it, right? So I don't want any impediment. I'm not prepared for any surprises. I'm just the guy trying to get shit done. So I'm like zinging and zagging. I'm like, all right, let's get up. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and throw our hands in the mix and go ahead and toss off. And then we get a half fistful of me. We take care of that. And then we're hustling. And and also I should tell you this. I got to open the front door because my house steams up from my crazy hot shower. But I can't have the door open while I'm taking care of business every day because just in case, like, my manager pokes her head to the door and goes, Michael, because she calls me Michael, which is fucking disconcerting. And she's like, we need to talk about something, the rent. You must pay the rent. I can't pay the rent, especially now because, I'm at XTube doing some stuff, doing some research. So I don't keep the door open because then it keeps the illusion that I'm not here. So, but when I'm finished, I have to go open the front door. So then I have a cross breeze so there isn't so much steam in my bathroom and in my living room to set off my smoke alarms, because that absolutely happens. I have to, it's in the winter especially. Summer not so much, but in the winter, steam will be coming out of the room because I take such a hot shower, and it will go ahead and set off. It used to just set off the smoke alarm in my bedroom, but now it's setting off the smoke alarm in my living room, and that is a problem. So, because before I could just close the bedroom door and be okay with it, but now I still close the bedroom door, but I also have to make sure the window and the door opens so I get a cross breeze. And today it's not a problem because in LA right now, hold on, are you looking at my window? What are you looking at? Yeah, I'm talking to my own fucking house. Quit looking at my window. I see you. You don't think I can see you. You're by the stairs and you're glancing in. Maybe you can't see me. What are you staring at? This person's got like a 50-yard gunfighter stare staring into my house. It's an Asian woman. I don't know if it's my buddy Oscar's wife because she's got dark sunglasses on and a scarf. Is that Mata Hari? There's a good chance Mata Hari is here doing some spying for the Axis. I don't know what's happening outside. Quit looking. She's looking right over here. Is there? Because now that makes me worry that there's something wrong on my door or outside my house. Because everything's closed except for the blinds are open in my living room or not my kitchen because I'm at the desk and I need the light on to fucking record. I don't record in the dark, folks. I'm not Billy Squire. But is she looking at a plant? She might be, because we had some issues here. I think I might have told you guys there was a storm here. There's a beautiful palm tree right outside my door. And we had a storm here 2 weeks ago. And I walked out of my house and I was going to go, I need to take a hard left to go to the carport. And as I took a hard left, like my head hit a palm frond. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I suddenly dawned on me, because you're so used to seeing the palm tree outside. Well, now I'm realizing it's at like a fucking, and it's at an angle now. It's not standing straight up. There's wait, are you walking toward my house? Why are you walking toward my house? All right, hold on. No, she is looking at plants. Oh my goodness. Is she tending the garden? I wonder if she's the one who put the Buddha out there. Somebody put a Buddha amidst the foliage. And I don't know if it was her. Perhaps. All right, now she's going to go up the stairs. All right, I'm a little weirded out by all of this. All right, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going to happen. So I walked out. There's a palm frond dangling like dangerously close to my face. And I realized that the tree's on a fucking angle. It's not standing straight up. It's now, and look, we all have those issues as we get older, certainly. I just never expected it out of this tree. It happened. And I will say this, it just happens out of nowhere. All of a sudden, it's like, you're like, hey, there's a lilt. There didn't used to be a lilt. I used to be standing straight up, and all of a sudden there's a lilt. That's this tree's experiencing. So I noticed that it's probably fallen about 30% of its height toward the building. And I'm like, all right. So I texted my manager and I said, hey, I don't know, do with this information whatever you will, but the palm tree by the laundry room looks like it's about to go. And I walk out to my car because I had to pick up Lenny at LAX. And she's like, the one by I said, the palm tree right outside my door. And she's the one by the laundry room. She texted me. That's all she texted me. The one by the laundry room. I said, yeah. She goes, okay. I said, all right, cool. So she's on it. So I grabbed Lenny. I'm going like 4 hours, right? And it's raining consistently the entire time here. We had a really good storm here in LA a couple of weeks ago. And did I tell this fucking story? Holy fuck, I might have. See the thing, I talk on Twitch, I talk to real people. I gotta stop talking to everybody. I'm only talking to you guys from now on. I mean, I gotta do this fucking show. So I come walking in, it's like 8:30 now. So it's about 4 hours later, and 4.5 even. And I come walking in, and the tree has now it's fallen even like 20% more than it had when I left. Because I have to duck the palm frond to get past it. And I'm like, holy fuck. And it's coming down. There's no doubt. And clearly, she didn't fucking care because she didn't do a goddamn thing about it. Now, I don't expect her to run out there and fucking bridge over the River Kwai, this fucking tree back up to a standing position. I thought she'd call somebody, but I guess maybe nobody works in the rain. Who the fuck knows? But sure enough, I mean, I walked in, it's like 8:30. I walk in and I look at it, and I had told Lenny this story in the car. That's why I'm thinking I'm telling you guys the same story. And I grabbed my phone. I go, fuck this. I'm taking a picture of this. So I did. I took a picture of it. As I took a picture of it, I saw it start to move. And it started to fall. It's like leaning closer and closer. And I go, whoa. So I videoed it. I flipped it to video, and I'm videoing it as it's falling. And I'm doing it like a play-by-play. I'm like, man, this tree's been here 25 years. Been here as long as I've been here. And then you hear it, and it just gently. The one thing they did do is they trimmed the top so it didn't come to the building. It reached to about maybe a foot away from the building, but it falls and falls. And now it's laying there. And so then I just text her a note, and I go, look, man, it's too late in the night, and I don't know what you're going to do with this, but again, the tree has officially fallen down. And that was it. And I was in my house. Nobody came and did anything about it. The next morning I woke up, and what they had done was they had walked it away from where it fell, and basically they took it from 6 o'clock to 3 o'clock. You know what I mean? They walked it backwards that way from if you turned your hand backwards. So they went from 6 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and they put like 2 caution yellow signs around it. And then it took a week. It literally sat there for a week until somebody came and did something with it. And I said to her, I go, hey, are they going to replant a palm tree? And she goes, nah, I don't think so. And I am so bummed at that, man. I am so bummed because it's beautiful. I mean, it's right outside my door. And I've taken many photos of the moon through the fronds of that palm tree, or even right next to the palm tree. And what a drag, man, that it fell. So perhaps this woman is out here going ahead and trying to figure out how to replace the tree. Maybe that's it. Maybe she's a tree expert, a tree doctor, a tree nurse from a tree nursery. There's tree doctors, right? There's what was there, Dr. Tree? Maybe there's Dr. Tree. They call me Dr. Tree. All right. So I go in to take a shower today. I come face to face with a bug. Now, you know me, all right? I have to open the front door. I'm boom, boom. It's that thing where you're like, gotta go here, do this now. And then I open the front door, and then I come over and I slide open. I go to turn on the faucet. I turn the faucet on. I look, and there's a bug looking right at me. Okay? And my brain, the way it works, my brain, look, my brain's kind of quick. I don't think I'm standing on ceremony or stepping out of tune, or look at me disproving how quick my fucking brain is by not being able to pull up the phrase. I don't think I'm talking out of turn by saying that I'm kind of fast. So my brain goes into instant, like, identifying the first thing it thinks of is bug, bathroom, roach. Okay. And so now I get instantly furious because I'm like, I told you, I don't have bugs in my house. There's no bugs in my fucking house. And that's one of the things I love about this apartment complex. I've lived here so long, no bugs. Occasionally I've seen one like every 4 years, and then you say something and then they disappear. Like there's never been a bug in my kitchen. Well, there was one in a drawer once, whatever the fuck, who cares? But I see this bug and I think it's a roach, and now I'm freaked out, but also I'm scared. And I don't mean to be scared, but I'm scared because I'm looking right at a goddamn bug. And I look at it and he looks at me, and so it's that thing where you don't even process it, right? I open the door, I lean over, turn up the hot, and face to face with this bug. In my head I go, oh my gosh, is that a roach? And guys, I'm not even fucking joking. This bug goes for me. This bug fucking leaps at my face because I'm bent over. Like, I'm bent over at the waist, turning on the faucets. I look and the bug is right there, and he's not in the tub. He's on the rim of the tub where you kind of put your shampoos sometimes if you don't have a shower caddy like me, because I'm a very fancy gentleman. He's on the rim of the tub. He's not in the tub. So the water's not, and I'd tell you this, if he was in the tub, I wouldn't have turned the water on, because I'm not going to wash him down the drain, because he'll come back bigger. We know this, right? We saw the Night Gallery episode. We all know in our brains, if you wash a bug down the drain, he comes back bigger. So sure enough, this bug sees me. I see him, and I go, bug, roach. But then this thing fucking leaps at me right from my face, and it hits me in the nose like bing. And I'm like, what the fuck? And here's what I do, because I'm great. I run. I run, not run sprint, but just back out of the bathroom, like, what the fuck? Because it hit me right in the fucking nose. And I don't know if it bit me, I didn't feel anything, but it was that thing where it you know what? It jumped so hard, I heard its leg spring. Like that, and then it hit me in the fucking nose, and I'm like, oh, and I run out, and I'm panting, and also let's just say this. My left hand is out of commission. Okay. Because it's been involved in an activity that has left it in a state where I don't want to touch anything with it. Got that? Got that. So sure enough, this bug fucking hits me in the nose and he falls down. I don't know where, because I back out of the fucking bathroom, and then I'm like, holy shit, and I close the door. Because I don't want him to escape if I can't see him, because the light in the bathroom is fine, but then if he gets on the rug, I'm never going to fucking see him, right? So I don't know who the fuck this guy is. So sure enough, I get my wits about me, left hand still fucking, out of commission. And I go, all right, what the fuck? And in my brain, I'm doing the processing where I'm like, all right, if that was a roach, it was truly the most aggressive roach I've ever seen, I've ever heard of in my entire life. Roaches don't jump. They're like white men. So fuck me, man. I'm like, it can't be a roach. That's good news for me. I'm very excited about that. I'm like, good. Because any other bug, because a couple weeks ago I saw a silverfish in there, and you don't forget that's just fucking brutal. That's a nightmare come to life. That's some fucking Cthulhu shit where you look down and all of a sudden you just see 4,000 legs doing walking in a slidey pattern. Oh, like fucking silverfish move like snakes, but they have legs like a centipede. Who the fuck invented that nightmare? That's just, at that point, that's just God just going, you know what? Fuck them. I got to do something to keep these assholes in line. Put 1 billion snakes with feet down there, but make them micro-sized so they don't know where they're hiding. Fuck me. So I saw a silverfish in my bathroom, and I don't know if it was because we had a lot of heat and then we had a lot of rain, and I don't fucking know, man. Because my house is not a bug repository. It doesn't fucking happen. So sure enough, man, the silverfish fucking spooked me a couple weeks ago, but now I open the fucking door, and there's the bug, and so I back out, close the door. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, what the fuck? At least it's not a roach. It can't be a roach. If it is a roach, he's furiously aggressive. And it's not a silverfish because, again, even though they may have 1,000 legs, they don't jump. Very much like white men. So in my brain, I'm like, all right, I just got to get in there, right? But now I don't know if it's waiting for me out right behind the door. Because this is the whole thing, is I don't want it to fucking escape. I have to figure out what it is and what it's doing in the bathroom. Well, I don't need a motive, but I got to figure out what it is and where it is, just so I can do something about it, right? And also, I got to be honest, I'm running around in boxer briefs, and at least I have a t-shirt on. But now my front door is open, So, and there's a breeze. What the fuck? If anybody walks up to the door now, I got a sticky hand and a pair of boxer briefs that have been in the wars. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't turn around. And my leg isn't doing great either. Anyway, whatever the fuck. So I got the door closed, and I'm like, all right, I got to turn all the lights on. So I do. I turn the light on in the hallway. I turn the light on in the bedroom. And then part of me is gonna think about the bath. I'm like, all right, you know what you do? I go, if I crack the bathroom door open and just reach in and turn the light on, maybe it won't get out. So I'll look down. So I did that. I cracked the door and real quick, and I slid my finger and clicked, and I flipped the switch and I closed the door again. Because I got to be ready to look for this thing. And I will tell you this. I am hypersensitive to any movement anywhere. I am very much like Spider-Man. Like if anything's moving just out of reach, I can see it and hear it and feel it. I know. You're not fooling me. So sure enough, I close the door again, real fast, flip the light switch on inside, and take a breath. And we got big high winds today too, so there was a breeze coming in the door. So in my brain, I'm like, is it gonna float on a breeze, whatever the fuck? I open the door, but I do it slowly, inch by inch, so my eyes can go up and down, up and down, up and down, and scan the room to see if it's on the floor, on the sink, where the fuck it is. And I open the door, and I don't see it clearly. So I've got a stand in there for towels and stuff, and I told you it's got a basket with some books in it. And then I look there, and it's on wheels, so I roll it. He's not under there, and I'm looking. He's not in the sink. And then I come around where the shower is, and he's just on the floor between the toilet and the bathtub. So it looks like he hasn't even moved. Like he jumped, binged me in the nose, and I ran, and I think he's still standing where he landed, because he ticked off of me. And there was even another noise. He might have hit off the shower door. He might be scrambled at this point. He might be just as scared of me as I am of him. And also, he's got a concussion because he leaped up, hit me in the face, and then banged off the fucking door and then landed on the floor. I don't know about bugs, but they're not into parkour. I know they do a bunch of bug shit, but at the same time, the unexpected parkour is going to rattle any species. So sure enough, I open the fucking, I go in and I see him sitting right there on the ground, and my eyes are able to focus on him, and I realize it's a cricket. It's no silverfish, thankfully, and it's certainly not a roach, but it is a cricket because he's got those fucking bendy fucking super generator legs, and then he's got the weird antenna, but they don't go around his body. Roach antennas go around their body. And I'm like, oh, and I was happy. I breathed a sigh of relief because, look, nobody gets a cricket infestation in their house. Fucking maybe Geppetto, but that's the only one. But nobody else gets one, right? Crickets just show up randomly because they made a mistake. They were looking for water or whatever the fuck. So there is truly now relief because I realize he is absolutely as scared of me as I am of him. So I see him. He's on the ground, and I calm down, and I still got a bad left hand. And I think to myself, I should do something about this. And I'm like, well, no, we got to get him out of here first. I don't even know why. I could have washed my hand at any time. I back out and I close the door again. And here's what I do. I go get a cup from the kitchen, and I go to catch him. I go into the bathroom, and he's staying right there. He's not moving. He's totally frozen. Like he never moves. And so he really must be scrambled up. I walk into the bathroom. He's there. I approach with the cup. He doesn't move, and I put the cup over him, and he doesn't even react to that. I slide the cup along to kind of get him to juice a little bit. Because here's my thinking. I'm going to make him jump, and I'm going to be quick enough to scoop him up in the cup. So now this has gone from terrifying encounter with a species that I wish to never meet in person or in the dark to carnival game. So I got the glass on him, and I'm sliding, and he's just getting pushed along, man. And I'm in my brain, I'm like, is he dead? Is he in a coma? What the fuck happened? A cricket coma? I don't know about a cricket coma, which is a good stripper name. So I slide him all the way out from the hard to get area, and I have to move my rug because I have a throw rug that you step on when you get out of the shower, like a bath mat rug. It's not a bath mat; it's an actual rug. I'm very fancy, so I slide it over, and he's still not moving. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to push him in here. Normally, what I would do is I would slide a piece of paper, but again, as I've mentioned, my left hand out of commission. I can't grab a piece of paper because I don't know, it's gonna be all sticky and whatever the fuck, and slick from a lot of things. So I slide the glass over with him underneath it, and finally he gets to a part where it's manageable. And in my brain, I go, well, look, I'm not going to get a piece of paper, and it's not like I can't get him with a spoon or whatever. I go, you know what? This is a two-hand operation. I have to do it. So I leave the cup on him, wash my hands finally, and go over. And without getting a piece of paper, mind you, I tip the cup up, I slide it where he is, and then I slip him against my left hand. Because again, crickets I don't mind touching, and he's already hit me in the nose. We're friends. So I slide him over, and then I tip the cup up, and I kind of gently usher him into the glass. And he's still not moving. But now the dilemma is, I'm post-coitus, I guess is the word I would use. So I can't go outside, because if someone sees me, they're going to be like, hey, it looks like you dropped a dozen eggs on your lap. So I can't do that, right? So I have to go outside. And by the way, a dozen eggs, that's harsh. Maybe 2 eggs. But I got to take him outside. But I don't want to throw him because, again, he's all scrambled. I have to go outside. I have to. So I go to the front door. And I said the front door is open on the inside, but my metal screen door is locked. So I unlock it. Now he's in the cup and he's not moving. I'm kind of making sure, because again, he can leap. So I got my left hand over it. I got to I unlock the door, open it up, and I step outside. And I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, please don't let anybody see me. Please don't let anybody say anything to me. And it's Thanksgiving and everybody's home, which is also there, like, because again, my neighbor was making noise here. That's one of the reasons why I didn't record right when I woke up. I decided to take a shower first. So I step outside, and like I said, there's foliage on either side there's one directly in front and then to my immediate left. And so I didn't want to take 3 extra steps. I go to my immediate left, And I held the cup out. I dumped him into the foliage, and he landed. And that was it. I don't know if he's moving. I didn't see him. Like, part of me's like, once he gets outside, he'll be like, "Oh, thank God, leaves," and he'll start jumping around. But I think he might be on his back still. He might have been eaten by ants. He's all fucked up. He may be terrified. Again, like I said, I always think of bugs as being against us. Like, they're like, the second we get a chance, we're going to fuck these guys up. But in reality, imagine if you're, just trying to get some water and a fucking giant stumbles upon you and you jump up at him in the face and you land and you're like, I am terrified that I'm now in a giant's house. And then the giant, you realize the giant may have been doing some things he shouldn't have been doing and he can't use his left hand. You're like, oh, what the fuck? So all these terrible things went through my brain, but I dumped him into the foliage. And like I said, I expected him to frolic and play and be like, wow, yay, bug Thanksgiving. But he just disappeared into the leaves, and hopefully he wasn't attacked by another fucking bug. I don't know, but I got him out of my house. That's the important part. And my heart is still racing because he jumped up and hit me right in the goddamn face. And I did not expect it. Look, man, it was essentially like a Jack in the Box, like a da-deet, 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 and then bump, bump, and he jumped and hit me right in the fucking mush. Bounced off my nose and then off the shower door. All right. So I'm scared. I'm a little worried right now. I'm just going to say I'm calming down, but telling you the story has made me feel much better. So I feel good about it. Hi. How are you? I hope you're good. I'm waiting now for a silverfish to attack me. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Let's go ahead and get this out of me. I'm here to do the plugs. Should I do this before? I'll do the plugs first. Let's do that. And then I'll tell you some stuff. But you know what? I'm part of the Misfit Toys Co-op. And I'm not going to belabor the point. It's Never Not Funny. It's Doug Loves Movies. It's the Todd Glass Show. It's No Fun with Jen Kirkman. I believe Danielle's podcast is there too. A bunch of crazy, amazing podcasts that you can go and check out. They're really good. Never Not Funny has Jimmy Pardo, Matt Belknap, Elliot Hochberg, and Garen Cockrell. Doug has Doug Benson, Todd Glass Show, and Jen Kirkman. All wonderful shows. Go check them out. Download them wherever you can. We have a sponsor, as I've mentioned many times, our great friend Fearful Jesuit. It was Fearful Jesuit's birthday this week. He came into existence and started tearing conspiracy theories asunder just this week. So I believe it was 11/22, which also is another date for another reason, but you can go ahead and read the history books for that. So if you want to send Fearful Jesuit a happy birthday, go ahead and do so on Facebook, because there's a Paranoid Strain page right there. And also, I will tell you this, the Paranoid Strain podcast is available wherever you can find the best podcasts, destroying conspiracies here and there, destroying the McMartin preschool trial, all of the satanic panic, all of the molestation people, anything that you want to go ahead and delve into, QAnon, John Birch. All of these conspiracies are getting torn up and fucking lit on fire by our great friend, Fearful Jesuit, and his sidekick, Dana Unicorn. The two of them are tearing things apart, interviewing experts, and putting on a show that I couldn't dream of putting on because it's so well edited and executed. So please go ahead and check out Paranoid Strain, the podcast that's available wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Or, I'll tell you this, wherever you find your most hated podcasts. He's the beam. He's the buoy in that ocean of garbage. He's the beam of light amidst that darkness. Go ahead and find the Paranoid Strain podcast, wherever your finer podcasts are purveyed. Our great friend Fearful Jesuit. Send him a note telling him happy birthday, too, and thanking him for going ahead and standing behind this show, which I don't understand why he does, but he does. It makes me happy. Let me swallow as I'm yammering. My nose sore from cricket banging. What else is there? Oh, our great friend David Hernandez. That's the part I was telling you about. He has the Phlegmcat podcast, PHLEGM cat. That's 2 words. The Phlegmcat podcast. Well, it's 4 words really, but Phlegmcat is 2 words. Also available wherever your finer podcasts are being found, whether they're here or there or everywhere, whether they're on a train or on a plane, whether they're in a ditch or with a witch. You can find out all of those podcasts, particularly the Phlegmcat podcast. It's David. He's got a cast of characters. He does some singing. He does some dancing. Ooh, look at me. I'm dancing. Plus, he's also giving out wings. Go ahead and check out his show. It is the Phlegmcat podcast, available wherever you find the best podcasts you've ever heard in your life. They are ready for you whenever you are ready for them. So go ahead and download them, man. That'd be great. Did you want to hire me for Cameo? Holy God, why wouldn't you? Let's throw out a big thank you. I think I thanked our great friend J.D. Ellis. I'm going to thank our friend Sean, who probably doesn't want his whole name on here. I had another gentleman named Sean reach out and wanted me to do a personalized video for him, and so I did. I put out a video telling him all sorts of stuff, and here's my brain and how it works. I'm going to tell Sean this because he emailed me today or sent me a note today. He asked me for it like 4 days ago, and he's like, I'd like to get it on my birthday, by or on my birthday. I said, all right, I'll get it to you on your birthday. And then late Tuesday, it turned out I didn't have his email address, but then he sent it to me, and I realized it was also on the PayPal receipt. I should have looked there, and I felt so dumb. But then I wanted to do his video, and I cranked it out, and I got it to him yesterday, which was his birthday. Happy birthday, Sean. Thank you so much for thinking of me. And so I sent him the video yesterday morning, early. And I was like, here you go. I go, well, let me know if you can download it, if there's any connection problems. And then nothing. I heard nothing all day from Sean. I heard I got it. I heard I didn't get it. I didn't hear fuck you. I didn't hear any of these things. I didn't hear a word. And so in my brain, here's my brain. My brain went, oh man, you fucked this up. Because, he has some things he wanted me to talk about, and he mentioned his wife and kids and things like that. And I'm like, did I say the wrong thing? Because I swore a couple times. Should I not have done that? Was his son going to watch? So all day in my brain, when I don't hear from him, I'm like, man, I fucking ruined this. I can't believe I ruined this dude's birthday. What a mess. And I felt awful about it because he reached out to me and he was very kind and he sent me a note and some dough. And I'm like, I can't. All right. And so then last night I'm like, all right, I got to refund his money, clearly, because he hated it. And now I got to send him his money back. And so last night I was going to send him his money back. And then in my brain I went, all right, you know what? Give it one more day, because today's his birthday. Maybe he was busy with his real friends and his loving family, and he didn't have time to write Internet Stranger a note. And then in my brain, I'm like, why would you not have time to write Internet Stranger a note? I mean, fuck, Internet Stranger recorded a video for you. And then in my brain, I realized, hey, you've got texts you haven't answered since April. So I, throttle down here with your fucking anxiety mind and relax and wait a day. And just before I signed in here to record this, there's a note from Sean, and all I saw was, I loved the video. That's all. I didn't open it yet, but I just saw I loved the video. There may be complaints. There may be things that he has that critiques. I don't know. And I may still be refunding his money. But the good news is he said he loved the video. But this is how my brain works. I went, when I didn't hear from him yesterday, I'm like, fuck, I fucked this up. I got to send this guy his fucking money back because I don't want to fucking piss him off. This is so ridiculous. How could I not? What did I do? What did I say? Did I say the wrong thing? What did I do? Because that's my brain that I need to recondition at the age of 55. So if you want to hire me for a cameo that you think I'll try to refund in a day, go ahead and do that. Why wouldn't you? Go ahead and hire me to do all sorts of crazy things where I talk to you, I talk to your sister, I talk to your other sister, I talk to your sister's sister, which I guess would be your other sister. I can talk to your whole family, man. You want me to talk to a dog, talk to a cat, talk to a bird? You want me to talk to a cricket? Apparently I'm a cricket whisperer. I can offer up my nose for bonking. He booped me. He did. I got booped by a fucking cricket. Maybe that's what he did. He saw me as a giant pet. Boop. Blep. So yeah, awesome. If you want to hire me for Cameo, go ahead and do that. It's bookcameo.com, or you can get the Cameo app on your phone and do important things with that. That's fun, isn't it? And then you'll go ahead and say, I knew Mike when he was doing phone messages for people. Now he's a big star. Hire me, please. Why not? I could use the dough. It's Christmas. They had a Black Friday special. They're like, make sure you tell all your fans for Black Friday there's a special at Cameo. And I'm like, nobody's fucking, who the fuck? Like, I can't imagine. Black Friday's bad enough without me going, hey, guys, you want to save $5 on me telling you happy birthday? What a fucking goof. Just what we used to make steel in this country. All right. So, thank you to Sean, and thank you to anybody who considers me for a cameo. Cameo, bookcameo.com, or the Cameo app on your phone. I will happily tell you happy Thanksgiving or happy birthday or Merry Christmas or happy Boxing Day or happy Eid. Whatever you need from me, I am happy to bring it to you and the table. So go ahead and reach out and touch someone, and that someone is me. And book me on Cameo, won't you? Patreon.com/Mike40YOB. That exists. Patreon.com/Mike40YOB. You can become a patron of this show and of me, which would be great. Thank you to everybody who does that. You keep me afloat in ways that I can't even explain. Like, again, now it's important. Now the Patreon is actually like, oh, okay. I mean, look, it's been important forever. But now it's like every dime is accounted for. It used to be like, thank you for doing Patreon. This allows me to breathe a little bit. Well, now it's like, no, this enables me to take 3 crushing cinder blocks off my chest and just leave the 1, which allows me to breathe at least normally. So thank you, everybody who's a patron at patreon.com/Mike40YOB. And if you wanted to become part of that elite group at patreon.com/Mike40YOB, you can do it. Sign up and that'd be great. I'd certainly appreciate it. It would help me going forward. Or if you just wanted to send a chunk of cash, and who doesn't want to do that? Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little horn boy there, and it says donate. And if you click on him, you'll go right to PayPal, and you'll be able to send me some greenery, some moolah, some dinero, some greenbacks, whatever you want to send. But make sure it's green and folding. My donations don't jiggle. They fold. All right. I'm an idiot. I don't care. Send me change. I'll take it. I fucking need everything at this point. Patreon.com/Mike40YOB. Go ahead and fucking send it. And PayPal is available at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Upper right-hand corner, there's a horn boy that says donate. Click on him, won't you? And then you can send me a chunk of cash. You know I have channels. Were you aware of this? You want to go through the proper channels? You can do that. I have channels to go through. Miles to go before we sleep and channels for you to go through and visit. Twitch.tv/the40-year-old-boy. I'm presently playing God of War Ragnarok and nobody likes it. It's weird. It's a fantastic game. It's truly fun. I was getting my ass whipped yesterday by a fucking soldier of Odin and I had to actually bail on it because I was like, I can't do this. I fought him for 40 minutes and I'm like, I got to stop. But twitch.tv/the40-year-old-boy. I'm playing God of War Ragnarok. And for some reason, like I said, people kind of, I don't know if it's because they're going to play it themselves. They don't want to see the game progress. Or if it's just more boring than Red Dead. I don't know what it is because the game is beautiful. I will say this. It is feeling a touch repetitive. They're doing their best to vary it. And also they sent you on some side quests and where you're not the God of War. You're somebody else. And I'm like, nah, I didn't buy God of War's friend. I bought God of War for fuck's sake. But that's fine. It's a video game. You know, got to just have patience. And, But if you want to come see me rail against the fact that they make me be somebody else, go to twitch.tv/the40-year-old-boy and check me out as I go to God of War Ragnarok and go to all the realms and fight elves and meet Freya and Freyr. And there's a wolf named Freyr. And oh my God, there's all sorts of weird names and Odin and Thor and a bunch of crazy dudes, all waiting to cause trouble in all of the realms. And I'm there to go ahead and stop them. So go ahead and check it out. Twitch.tv/the40-year-old-boy. I usually stream Monday through Friday at 4:00 p.m. Pacific time, sometimes at 3:00, sometimes at 5. It kind of varies, but it's usually in the afternoon until the early evening because I try to find a sweet spot for all the time zones because, again, that thing where if I start at 9 p.m. my time, fucking people in New York are fucking cashed. So being a late night guy didn't make sense. But early on, I did some late night stuff. Who cares? Why am I telling you that? Twitch.tv/the40-year-old-boy. Oh, go be a follower. You can subscribe too with Bezos bucks, but if you want to just be a follower, that's cool too because it lets Twitch know that I have people watching, so that's pretty cool. I also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/the40-year-old-boy. That's just mainly the archives of this podcast. You can delve back in and listen to older shows if you'd like or want to. Why wouldn't you? It's fucking great. But also, I can eventually, if I figure out how to, because again, I'm having problems with the fucking PlayStation dudes, whatever. I need a handler. I need a fucking producer. I need all sorts of people who know how to do shit because people will show me how to do shit and it's like, great. And the next day it's wrong. And I'm like, how did this happen? I didn't touch anything. It's so frustrating. But youtube.com/the40-year-old-boy. Go ahead and follow that there. That'd be pretty cool. And there's archives of the podcast and old million years old stand-up you can check out if you want to see that. And there'll be more of that to come, he said in a way that was vague because he doesn't want to explain it just yet. But we'll see. All right. So twitch.tv/the40-year-old-boy, youtube.com/the40-year-old-boy, the Paranoid Strain podcast and the Phlegmcat podcast available wherever you find your finer podcasts. Go ahead and check them out. Book me on Cameo. Go to patreon.com/Mike40YOB. PayPal can be done via MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Upper right-hand corner, donate. Hornboy. And then all of the Misfit Toys co-op shows. And that's that. Let's go eat some turkey, right? What do you say? Look, I have let a lot of you down this year. I realize that. I was scrambling a bit. I've been scrambling for a couple years. I won't lie. The beginning of the pandemic was, I had rage and I went ahead and brought a lot of shows and did what I did and then started to slack. And it was my brain would turn to mush and I started to contemplate some things and I didn't like what was happening. And, I allowed myself to be affected by outside sources, and as always, I'm affected by inside sources. Inside sources are one thing. You can try to cleave and hack your way through those, but outside sources, if you allow yourself to be corrupted or enveloped in those things and worrying about things you can't control, boy, oh boy, will that fuck you up and lay you low. And it did, and you know that. I mean, I missed a month at a time sometimes. One time I went 6 weeks without putting up a podcast, and I lost a lot of you. You know this. I mean, well, the people I lost don't know that because they're not here to listen. But anybody listening to this and hearing my voice now, I lost a ton of listeners, and it's my own fault. But anybody who stuck around, especially on this day of Thanksgiving, please know how important you are to me, how important you are to my life, how important this show is. Even though I may pretend that it's not, and I may ignore it or decline it, it's still a part of me. It's still the most satisfying creative endeavor I've ever had in my lifetime, and is also the one thing I own that I can control. And I neglected it and did that all year. And I'm not saying I did it on purpose in a way where, it wasn't like I was like, fuck that show. I felt like I couldn't do it properly, and I had no motivation to fix it or fix me. And I'm still there a lot of the time, but I'm doing my best to claw through. Doing the shows with Lily has really helped. It's been kind of a lifeline that's drawn me out of the old mud. But I've put a ton of restrictions on me. I've told myself I got to do this, I got to do that, and I'm fighting through. And I'm fighting through, and I reach up with my right hand because, again, as you know, I can't use my left hand. Don't touch my left hand. But my right hand, I reach up, and I see all of you who are listening right now reaching back. And it makes me incredibly happy, and I'm incredibly honored, and I can't believe you're still here, quite frankly. I give thanks, everybody gives thanks. We do this, yay, pilgrims and Indians and whatever the fuck. I'm thankful, and I've said this many times before, and I never want it to sound schmaltzy, and I never want it to sound like a repeated thing, or I don't ever want it to sound pat or rote. Anyone who's ever listened to me, anyone who's ever laughed at anything I've said, anybody who gives me any of their attention, I'm thankful for all of you. And then there's levels, certainly. I'm thankful for everybody. But there are people who stand out, and people who not only stayed with me through all of this, but also reached out to me and told me, hey, it's going to be okay. It's going to be good. We're here whenever you want to come back. And man, I can't tell you how important that was to me. And so thank you to anyone who's listening. Thank you to anyone who's ever listened. Thank you for giving me the chance and including me in your lives. The greatest honor, the greatest gift you can ever have is being paid to be yourself and being paid attention by strangers who care about you in your life and are willing to include you in theirs. And it's a big deal that you guys are there for me. And I haven't been here for you as much as I'd like, but I'm here now, and I'm going to do my best to be here in the coming months and years, because again, like I said, this is what I have. This is it. And I have, I got a list. I got plans. You know me, always do. But I have real high hopes for 2024 and 2023. Let's not leap to 2024 just yet. But I've actually sat down and kind of made a plan and figured some stuff out, and we'll talk about it going forward. But please know that I'm present. And I wouldn't be if it wasn't for all of you bearing me aloft on your shoulders and making sure I never got too low. I was low. I've been low, and I'll be low again. And I'm low. It's day to day. I could be low tomorrow. But the very fact that every time I reach a hand out, I can see you guys reaching yours back makes me want to succeed and do the best I possibly can. And I'm fighting. And I'm glad that you guys are standing there and fighting with me. I appreciate it very much. I love you all. You're very important to me. And thank you for everything you've given me. It's kind of incredible that this show's been going for 13/14 years, and there are people who still care. So you care, everybody cares. I appreciate it very much. Love you guys. And you know what? Let's go listen to me and Lily for a little while. What do you say? Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you had the best holiday and had a fantastic time with everyone you love. Take care.
Oh, hey guys, I'm Hallie Kiefer.
And I'm Allison Livey.
And we have a podcast called Ruined, where every week we crack open a new and different horror movie to feast on the goo inside.
Oh, I hate that. And I hate all horror movies. But even though I'll never watch any of them, I always want to know all of the twists and turns.
And there's nothing I like more than watching horror movies and then telling Allison about them in gory, disgusting detail.
Ugh, no thank you. But also, like, yes, because this is the perfect podcast for scaredy cats like me.
And blood lovers like me. So join us for Ruined and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Danielle, guess what people are saying about How to Survive with Danielle and Christine?
What are they saying, Christine?
Very funny, charming, and just the right amount of stupid. This podcast might also save your life.
That's a perfect description because on How to Survive with Danielle and Christine, we teach you how to survive the things that could kill you and the stuff that makes you just wish you were dead.
Totally accurate. So tune in to
How to Survive with Danielle and Christine.
And as always,
Remain calm.
Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast. Wait, is that I don't even know if this is being recording because I got a little message there from Zoom. But I think I am. I think I'm here. I think we're there. And our great friend Lily is here. Hi, Lily. How are you?
Hello.
Nice to see you. Thank you for arriving, and thank you for taking time to help me out this week. I certainly appreciate it.
Thank you for adjusting to my wonky schedule this week.
Listen, I'm very professional this week. As you can tell by my delivery, as you can tell by the tone of my voice, I'm an extremely professional gentleman right now. Gentleman seems strong, but I think the bow tie sells it, right? Don't you agree? The bow tie sells it? Is it making me...
It's the bow tie and the short pants with the jacket.
Listen, and my big lolly absolutely sells the whole goddamn thing. First off, let's throw this in everybody's lap because I'm assuming right now as I record this on a Tuesday night, I say that to out myself in case later you're like, why the fuck did this go up on Sunday? Hey, I don't know. I don't have any fucking idea. Please, who am I supposed to be? The editor, the fucking poster? Goddamn talent. But as the talent, I'm here to Sherpa your way through this goddamn thing and tell you happy Thanksgiving, everybody out there. I hope I don't know if you're listening to it on Thursday. Probably, I would imagine everybody just tunes this in fucking immediately. They sit down, jam it into the old iPod vagina, get a mouthful of giblets and laugh themselves stupid. Why? That's the way to do it every year. God damn it. Well, that's the way we've done it here for the past 13 years / 14 years with the times that I've been off and all the Christ. I don't even know. Like it's funny. I was talking to a lovely listener named Tanya, who's going to be here in a couple of weeks with her husband, Mike. And they're here just for one night because they're catching a cruise going somewhere. And this is far more information I should give out about Tanya because now somebody's going to rob her fucking house. She's out of town for 10 days because of a cruise. And if you go to her house, you'll totally be able to knock it over because her cameraman son won't stop you. Tanya's son is a cameraman now. He's I don't know if it's college or if it's a job. Like he's learning all sorts of aspects of broadcasting. So wherever he works or whatever he's involved in, like he was literally just the cameraman for a hockey game the other day, and his name was in the credits, like it said his name on TV and stuff, which is pretty sweet, right? That's pretty cool. Young gentleman trying to learn how to go ahead and run a camera. Apparently he's wearing a bow tie too. I don't know why he's a fucking gentleman. Never met this kid. He's
Oddly
one of those
enough,
kids.
Long pants. He wears long pants.
Good for him. He's got, again, he's working a real job. He has a boss. I don't have a goddamn boss, so I can wear short pants if I want. But his mom, Lovely, has been in my orbit for a long time. Her husband, Mike, terrific. And they're going to be here next week. And she wrote me a note today and she's like, hey, I sent you a Christmas gift for the Christmas stream on Twitch, which we've done. I think I've done 4 years in a row now where I've done a Christmas stream, and I've either, sometimes I've had a special guest with me, and I'll drink some hot chocolate. I'll open gifts sent by listeners and things like that, which is super nice. People are always very cool. And last year I read a Christmas piece. I read a Christmas story. Actually, I compiled a few. It was really, I enjoyed it. It's funny. I don't know if anybody else enjoyed that, but I enjoyed it because it made it feel like a grown-up thing instead of just me going out and yammering. I actually read a story about fucking plums or whatever the fuck I read. It was a cool ass Christmas thing. There was a Truman Capote one that I was going to read, but it was like 18 pages. And I'm like, you can't fucking do this to people. I mean, it's bad enough you make them listen to your bullshit. Now you're going to rope fucking Truman Capote and bring him into it. That fucking lisp. Because I don't know if you remember this. I actually read it in the voice of the author.
That's awful.
Hey, Truman Capote, I've been practicing. He talks like that, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You know what? Here's what I did. During the pandemic, I was unleashing all sorts of things and watching them. I may have talked about it here already. You know what I did? I watched Truman, the movie Truman, I think it's called Truman, with Philip Seymour Hoffman when he won the Oscar for his portrayal of Truman.
Oh,
Capote.
yeah.
And he was terrific. And Truman Capote, just kind of a jagoff, right?
Mhm.
He was not a good guy.
Mm-mm.
He was.
He was the Elon Musk of the time.
No, I don't want that. Let's not. All right, I don't want to talk about any fucking real world bullshit. I got no interest in it anymore.
Well, Truman Capote's real world, so I was trying to make a
all right,
temporary joke.
but from a million years ago. of
Yes.
course. He's an author and a brilliantly talented writer. But he exploited the convicts in order to make fucking In Cold Blood. He went
You
and
think?
interviewed them and fuck them. They're in jail. What do you need $5 for? Get the fuck out of here. He brought you magazines. Give him your fucking story. Jesus Christ. This guy's got seersucker suits to pay for God's sake. I don't think Truman Capote would be caught dead in a seersucker suit. I gotta be honest with you.
I don't know, but it's one of my favorite alliterations ever.
Seersucker suit?
Seersucker
Sure.
suit.
Yeah. So he,
Oh.
whatever. So he wasn't the best fella from what I'm understanding.
No.
But he, goddamn, the man could write a Christmas story. Like he could write anything, quite frankly. Because I was going to read his Christmas piece because he came. I think he's from Kentucky, if I remember correctly. Because that's the deal.
Somewhere south, yeah.
He became this bon vivant, and he became, he's a human scarf. You know what I mean? He's one of those fucking guys. You know what I mean? Like just you're
I
like,
do.
oh God, how gay are you with your cigarette holder and your cravat? We get it.
Wait, he was gay?
I think so. Again, the movie kind of alluded to it, sort of, when he was kissing a dude, but
I
that
missed
could have just been really good friends. I have not reached the really good friend point of making out with my friends just yet, but I think it's more on them than it is me. Look, I don't drink, but at this point, I'm 55. Talk me into fucking anything. And I don't care. Touch my neck, and who knows what the fuck's going to happen to anybody. I'm going to go off and fucking blow a hole through my pants like I got a cannon in there. That's been a while, is my point. So,
What I'm hearing is a listener party. Is that what we should be having?
Sure, yeah. Don't touch my neck, because again, I will need 2 showers. That's 2 showers. One, me showering with you, and one, you showering on the floor. That 2 hits, me hitting you, you hitting the floor. Like the first time I ever heard it, I was like, that's pretty great. Like that's a pretty fucking cool thing to say. And then every time I've heard it ever since, I'm like, fuck you. Like because the original, the first time I think I ever heard it, I'm not joking, might have been Breakfast Club. Like that might have been the first time I ever heard it. And I was like, wow. And so I don't know if John Hughes wrote it or if that's something he heard in the fucking, barracks. Was he in the army? I have no idea.
Do you want me to look it up right now? Or
That's exactly sure. That's exactly what I want.
Do I need to be live checking the
Yes.
facts of the show as we go?
We need a Garen Cockrell is what we need. We absolutely need to have a Garen Cockrell who's got a laptop on his lap and he goes in and he busts in and delves in and finds all the fucking facts that we need, for Christ's sake. No, it's bad enough I'm trying to keep all the balls in the air. I got to make you fucking Google shit. You're actually
Holy
Googling
shit. Yes. Do you know who actually wrote this?
I don't.
Truman Capote.
What? That makes no sense at all. Oh my Lord. He doesn't
No, that is
seem,
so stupid.
he sure doesn't seem like a me hitting you, you hitting the floor type of guy. I mean, unless he's landing on his knees when he hits the floor, if you know what I'm talking about. Because I don't know if you know about this. Truman Capote, he liked the guys. That's what I heard. Anyway, that's the movie alluded to. Again, I didn't do a lot of research on the man. But also you're born in Kentucky, whatever the fuck. But if you're named, and I don't know if that was his real name because he was born in some corn pone fucking outpost. So he might have been fucking, Charlie McHillbilly. I have no idea what his real name was. And then he was like, I need to be Truman Capote. Actually, you know what? My Truman Capote is very much my Dan Aykroyd being Dr. Detroit, being mom. Oh, doctor. Whoop, whoop, Dr. Detroit. I talked about this on here, but you weren't around, so I'll go ahead and tell you again. 2 summers ago. That's like 2 summers. We're talking about 2 summers, as Kanye would say. Right, and beats for 2 summers. But it was several more summers because of the pandemic. I think it was pre-pandemic that this happened. Pat, I used to go watch movies on the patio at Pat at his house because he had his TV outdoors, which is really sweet. Mm-hmm. And then during the pandemic, I did go and watch a couple movies, and we'd social distance. I'd be like 8 feet away from him, whatever the fuck. It was fun. I mean, it was just because then we were just getting back and having human contact and seeing people. But before that, he had the idea, and look, I know I have nothing. I'm aware of this. Okay, I get that. But like, he was like, we should watch a movie like out here on the patio. Like we should get the guys over and like watch a movie I think he said every month. And I said, I would do it every week. I go, I'm not even joking. Like if we had a movie night where we just came over here and we just brought pizzas and fucking hung out, that would be fucking sweet as hell. And then I believe they put it to a vote, and I was stoned like the protagonist of the lottery. They hurled rocks at me as my husband and children protested, and I shielded. Their eyes were shielded. Spoiler alert, by the way, on the lottery if you didn't have 8th grade. It was 8th grade. We read that. I think I read that in 8th grade, I believe.
I don't remember.
Whenever I read it,
so long ago.
Well, I just read it recently. Again, it was one of those pandemic deals where it came up. Someone alluded to it. And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't read that in a long time. And I went and I pulled it up, and it is just as harrowing and hits just as hard as it does now, as it did then, I should say. Just the idea of the story, and then you don't see it coming, a little twist-a-roo-skoo there. It was, I like the lottery. It's good. It's good stuff. It's no monkey's paw. Certainly it's no monkey's paw, but this story scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. The lottery scared the shit out of me. You know, I think we read it in school, and it was like, once it finally dawns on you what the fuck is happening, you're like, oh no, oh no, oh no. It's terrible. And at least I was affected by it. Everybody else in class is like, let's go get lunch, you know, because nobody cares about literature. Why am I smart? No, I'm not smart. I didn't even graduate high school. So, but Truman Capote, I again, I don't know where he was born. Again, like I said, some podunk town, but he, just being named Truman Capote means you got to suck a cock. I mean, like literally, that's just, that name alone says, oh, open wide. That's exactly what it is. I believe actually Truman Capote is, if you translate it from the original Norwegian, it actually means open wide. So, he was destined. He was destined. I think I just mentioned we don't need a fact checker, because honestly, this show would be 4 seconds long if we had a fact checker. I don't even think I would get past, hey, what's happening, without anybody going, hey, what the fuck? Yeah. So if you're Truman Capote, you're born to suck a cock. I mean, just that name alone means that you're going to be throating everybody you fucking meet, which is, and that's your deal, you know? And so, cause I don't know if that was his real name. Again, I'm not sure if he had because he might've been born in Kentucky and had some.
It is not his real name. I'm fact checking right now.
No, come on. All my bits are being torn asunder. So what's his real name then? This is going to sound really weird. Capote Truman. That seems very strange, but
I don't believe this is true, and I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this right.
All right.
Truman Streckfus Persons. That's what it says. I'm not making this up.
It's too bright. I can't see. Streckfus. Yeah. Okay.
Streckfus.
Well, you know, down south they really care a lot about Streckfus. You get the biscuits and gravy. You get the grits. You put and here's what you do. Let me ask you this: Do you put sugar on your grits, Lily? You're from Florida. Do you put sugar on your grits?
I don't eat grits. I just kiss them.
Let me finish the question. Sorry. Do you put sugar on your grits, or do you put butter on your grits? Butter and salt.
Neither. I don't eat grits.
Let me repeat the question. Do you put sugar on your grits, or do you go with a salt? Do you like a savory grit?
I don't like grits.
Let me finish the question. Do you like a savory grit? Do you like a sweet grit? Or do you like the free newsletter grit that you could deliver for extra money, according to a comic book ad in every comic book I ever read as a child?
I don't even like a true grit. I do not like grits.
Let me ask you. All right, let me repeat the question. Let me add an addendum to the previous grits question. Do you like a John Wayne true grit? Or do you like a Jeff Bridges true grit? Do you like a Coen Brothers true grit? Or do you like a whatever fucking mouthpiece director decided to work with John Wayne that week when they made True Grit? Do you like a Dean Martin true grit? Is Dean Martin in that one, or is he in Rio Lobo?
He was in Rio Lobo.
Do you like a Catherine Darby true grit?
I do not like grits. I would eat green eggs and ham before I would eat grits. I don't like grits. It's a texture thing.
Do you put sugar on your green eggs and ham, or do you put a salt on your green eggs and ham?
I would put sugar on my green eggs and ham.
There you go. You go sweet. You make it a sweet breakfast treat.
Yes.
Not unlike a pecan pastry or some sort of coffee cake.
Ooh.
A lot of alliteration at breakfast. I demand alliterative breakfasts. That's why I only eat great grits. Not gonna lie to you. That's what I enjoy. I like the great grit. There's a big controversy, a raging controversy about the grits, the sugar or the salt. I know that's turned into a thing. I don't know if anybody's
Really?
died. I don't know if anybody's died yet, but it's certainly out there. Well, it's in the ether at all times. You can feel it. You kind of feel it.
I don't know if that's true.
Actually, it's getting a little close in here. I don't like it. Hey, there's some sort of gritty spirit around here, some sort of wraith who's going to wreak havoc upon me for me even bringing up the question in public. I can't even bring up the question in public because the spirit of the grit will come to me and ruin me. I don't know. So again, I noticed with all of this discussion and all of this talking and you denying your love of grits as well as films, you've not turned the question back around on me. And I guess you're an incurious individual, which is totally fine.
Well, okay, I will start the question the correct way. Hey, Schmidt, do you like grits?
Ooh, well, all right. You should have said grit. You should have gone grit.
Do you like
You can't-
grit?
Unless you're going to go Schmitz. If you gotta
Schmitz, do you like the grits?
or, hey, Schmitty, do you like your breakfast gritty? Maybe you could have gone that route.
Okay. Do you like sugar? Or do you like salt on your grits?
Oh, okay. So I thought you were just saying sugar or salt. And then we're going to extrapolate into the grits. We're
On
going to
your
bring the grits in later. For me, I like a savory grit.
Wow.
I like a butter and
Really?
salt. I don't put sugar in my grits because at that point, now you're just eating cream of wheat. Really, when you think about it, now you're just eating mapo. Now you're just eating malto meal. That's all you're eating. If you put sugar in your grits, you've made oatmeal. That is not a grit any longer. You need to put butter and salt in your grit. You know what else goes in your grits? Shrimp. Oh,
What?
my goodness, shrimp
That
and
would kill
grits.
me.
You've never had shrimp and grit? Oh, that's
It
true.
would
You
kill
don't
me.
Yeah, true. It literally would because you're not. Lily has a weakness. She can't eat the crustacean.
My
Um,
kryptonite is shrimp.
Lily's Jewish, so she can't eat shellfish, unfortunately.
If by being Jewish it means that you have anaphylactic shock when you eat shrimp, then yes, if that's what it means to be Jewish.
But what I do
I don't
respect,
think it is.
I respect about you that you got your EpiPen and then you bedazzled it, so everybody knew if anything were to happen to you, someone's like, "Oh my God, grab the glitter stick." And everybody said, "You mean grab the grits and stick?" No, we're not talking about grits. Glitter stick. Can't you see? She's
You know-
imbibed the shrimp.
You only do that once because they have an expiration date.
The EpiPen?
Yeah, and then you're like, oh yeah, that was yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just watched a show where they were. There's a show on Netflix, and it's called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, and it's four episodes. Guess what they're about? I will tell you this: it is the
Highway
worst
repair.
It is the worst pornographic film I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, that is not true.
No, it's actually pretty good. No, it's clearly food, and the woman who hosts it is a world-class chef who has worked in many unbelievably successful restaurants and done really hardcore work as an assistant chef and a sous chef. And oh my goodness, please go back to the restaurant. I don't find her appealing as a host. I didn't find her to be interesting. There's actually, I just watched the Fat episode, if you will, and she was talking. You will, of course, you will. Don't say that you won't.
Understand.
You
I
will.
don't understand a fat episode. Is it just all the fatty foods out there?
No, it's there's salt and fat. Look, all right, time to educate you. I forgot you're not a super.
I
taster,
am not.
don't
I
care.
am not a world class chef. I'm
No,
a
you
Tuesday
eat-
night community college class.
You're a Burger King eater. So here's the deal. Salt, fat, acid, heat, those are like four of the main components you need to make food delicious, really. Fat
Yeah,
is
I
flavor.
get it.
Always is. No, you don't. Don't pretend that you do. Please don't.
I follow several chefs on TikTok.
You're embarrassing yourself and me at this point. So please go ahead, throttle down, and become educated as I tell you what it means to think about salt and fat and acid and heat. Don't try to step up now. A second ago, you're like, duh, I don't know what it is. Duh. And then I'm like, oh, well, here's what it is. And you're like, oh, I know. Which reminds me of a story I told in here a million times, but I'm going to tell it again because why the fuck not? There was a comedian I worked with once named Rick Patton. And Rick Patton was fucking awful. And so we had to go to Peoria together, and I was in Naperville, and he met me in Naperville, and I drove because I was the middle, he was the headliner. So we drove down there, and he was just fucking annoying in the car even, all right? Because what he would do is he would do this little baby voice, this little kid voice. I just play. Like it was fucking, it made me, but it wasn't even like, it wasn't like a little kid voice because it actually sounded like someone who had some challenges. Someone who might have been hit in the head with a shovel at some point. Somebody like a whistlehead voice. You know what I'm talking about? So he fucking, sure enough, we went down to Peoria and he would do it in public. Like he would fucking do it in the grocery store and shit. And I'm just like, ugh. So we went to a restaurant at one point to get lunch. And he was doing it, and then the waitress came over and he kind of did it like with her, and then he tried to leave the character, and I go, you know what, actually he has some challenges. So I go, do you want soup? Would you want some hot soup today for lunch? Like, I treated him like he was mentally ill or a child. And he fucking, in front of the waitress, he fucking snapped out of it. And he's like, what? Don't do that. What are you doing? Because I was invalidating his premise and also making him look uncool and fucking terrible. And even though he didn't realize that he was making himself look uncool and terrible.
Yeah.
But it was an awful thing. And he's an awful guy. And I don't know, how did we pivot to this? I don't know. Oh, that's how you're purporting to be right now when you're trying to pretend that you know.
I was joking when I was like, tell me what the fat is about. Because it's because the two of us are doing a podcast and I'm being like, hey, tell me more.
I know, but that's what I'm saying about Rick. Was immediately he was like, I'm a comedian, I'm kidding, I'm joking. Like, and I was like, I know you were called on it. I know what you're doing. I'm teasing. Yeah. We're all having fun.
I'm being a supportive character.
Yes, I know, that's the bit. And that's why I pretend that you don't.
No, I'm genuinely interested. So
this is awful. Let's. I
want to know what the fat episode is about.
It's all going.
I just want to know what the fat episode is about. What was exciting about the fat? I don't care about the salt episode.
The salt episode. Well, here's another deal. They had them listed. And salt, fat, acid, heat is the name of the show. And then episode 1 is fat. Fuck you. That's not the name of the show. The show is called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. Why is fat episode 1, you dicks? And salt was 2. Then when salt, acid, heat, it's like, no. You can't fucking transpose them. And I know what happened because I've worked in television.
What?
I guarantee you they saw the second episode, the fat episode, and they were like, oh, that's a lot better. That's more interesting. Let's make that the first episode. That'll kick it off. Because the salt episode is in Japan. And it's a lot of Japanese subtitles, a lot of people speaking Japanese. But because this host speaks Italian, she converses more in the second one with the people, and they all talk to one another, right? But in the first one, it's a whole lot of her like nodding and the sounds of gongs, which makes no fucking sense. So she's in Japan, and they're doing things. They're cooking rice and whatever. And I know they went, salt is that's the second episode. The producers were like, no, we'll go with the first one. So I watched Salt first. Fuck you. I watched it out of order. I watched it the way, because you put them all 4 up. I can do what I want. I did. I watched Salt first.
Did it lose you that way? Were there spoilers that you needed
to
watch?
You know, it's funny. I did. I watched Salt, and they kept alluding to the fat episode. I'm like, what are they talking about? What is fat? What? So in Salt, she went to Japan, and they did a lot of salt stuff, which is pretty cool. And then she went to Italy.
Yeah.
But here's but again, I'm sure she's a terrific lady. She's a wonderful person, beloved by her family, perhaps even her coworkers. I didn't find her an appealing host. It wasn't anything that I wanted to, but I'll watch the show because I'm very interested in, I still have Acid and Heat on deck. But the best part is in the Italian show, the fat show. She's talking to a woman who is the Queen of Soffritto.
Ooh.
And she's relating to her, when you came into the La Brasserie, I saw you were chopping and this, you can see she's doing a lot of talking, and because she's speaking to the viewer at home. She's doing a lot of like Soffritto chopping, and you do this and you take this part here, and this little woman, the Queen of Soffritto, is miserable. And you can see how miserable she is as she's listening to this woman not talk to her, but talk to a camera and kind of talk in his face. And this woman's just sitting there like, oh my God, could you ask me a question or something? Mamma mia. I think she actually probably thought that. She's very Italian. And also there was another woman who was Italian who was speaking English, but it was that whenever they, when you see the way of the cheese melta, like they because they know English, but they still have to throw the I in at the end. It was fucking bananas. But whatever. It was interesting. I enjoyed the show, but you could just see that the host is just not good. How did this even come up? I didn't fucking know.
We were talking about grits.
Oh, savory, delightful. You know what I like in my grits? Salt and fat, some acid, and some heat. I enjoy all of them. That's what I will eat. No, you gotta have a savory grit. I enjoy a savory grit. That's like our friend Jason Capote. That's Truman's brother. He was not as successful as an author, but also not gay, weirdly enough. He was a professional baseball player.
They were born in New Orleans. Truman Capote was born in New Orleans. He's from New Orleans.
We're back to grits. That. That's where you find shrimp and grits. But then he became a New York socialite guy. and he was like friends with Audrey Hepburn and whatever the fuck, and he wrote Breakfast at Tiffany's. I mean, he wrote some genius stuff. You know, again, he was a writing guy, but he was a terrible person, just a bad person. So anyway, the point is, I watched that. I watched Truman with Philip Seymour Hoffman, who wins the Oscar for his performance as this empty shell of a man, Truman Capote. And because it was the pandemic, I was making connections and looping things together. I watched In Cold Blood right after it, featuring Robert Blake. And unfortunately, I don't know the other gentleman's name, but he's the kind of the crazy one who pushes Robert Blake around. Robert, don't you dare Google it. How dare you? But Robert Blake is the he was the whatchamacallit, the sensitive dude.
Sensitive dude.
He was the sensitive.
That was the
convict.
casting. That was the casting call. I need a sensitive
If you again, when you watch Truman with Philip Seymour Hoffman, you get to the dude gives a real performance as the character Robert Blake played, and he was just a guy who, you know, he played guitar. He was drifting aimlessly. He lost contact with his sister. His dad was like a fucking jerk to him, and he had really no options. And so he got talked into killing people by this fucking idiot because they were going to rob this house, and they wound up fucking just shooting everybody with shotguns instead. Because it was that old trope that for some reason survives on all of my old time radio shows, that if an old man lives by himself, he must have billions of dollars hidden somewhere in the house. So drifters or somebody will just kick in a door and try to find his money. And then they'll spend all night torturing him. I don't even know, dude. Look, man, I don't know.
It's awful.
Right? Isn't it awful? Like,
life is awful.
No, it's not. Life is great. If you make life greater, if life is good, it can be great. But I'm saying this guy, like if I thought you had $1 million in your shack, and then I made a plan and I burst in and then I tied you up and I demanded to know where the $1 million was in the shack, and then all night long I burned you with a stick, or I pulled your hair out, or I nailed your eyelids open so you had to watch me trash the things you. These are a lot of creative tortures. I'm not doing that.
I'm a little concerned about how easy these roll off your tongue.
Well, I'm a little concerned that someone's now going to do this and they're going to call me immediately. They're like, find that guy, that fucking dude. But then they torture him all night long, right? And it's just we'll go this route. He gives up the ghost finally after you remove his sixth toe. He's like, all right, God damn it. The money's right there in that shoebox. And you're like, man, I could have just opened the shoebox and avoided cutting your toes off, old man. What the fuck? And then you find $1 million in a shoebox and you abscond into the night, right? So now you go to the airport and you're like, take me to Jamaica immediately. I'm going to live there forever because I must get away from this country and I now have all my money. And then you go to Jamaica and you get there and you unpack and you take a shower and then you hit the beach and you finally relax. And you've got $1 million. And you're home free. There's no extradition treaty with Jamaica. They're not going to send you back. You didn't leave a toe in your luggage. Nobody discovered anything. You're fine. But don't you, when it's quiet, when you're watching the most beautiful sunset in Jamaican history, as you sit there at Club Hedonism, which is now your permanent address, don't you think about the moments you spent cutting a guy's toes off to get this $1 million, right? Whenever I hear of a crime, I'm always like the dude who shot everybody at the gay club in Colorado. Okay. Fuck that guy. Fucking kill him. There's no fucking reason to even talk to this fucking idiot. He's a fucking waste. I saw the clip from his house and it was terrible. All the bullshit with his mom and the bomb. And he's a big fucking baby Huey looking motherfucker. He deserved everything he fucking got. And he should have gotten a whole lot fucking more. But that was over in an instant. Like, I don't even know if he's going to be haunted by what he did or what he saw. But if you torture a guy all night long trying to find money in his shack, that's got to stay with you, right? That's got to flash in and out of your brain like a drive-in movie of you being a monster. You know you're a monster. And even if you're an atheist person who's like, well, there's no God and I won't be judged and who cares? And he who dies with the most toys wins or whatever the fuck. If you had to cut off 6 toes and burn a guy with a stick to get your money, like that's still got to be disquieting and sit poorly in your stomach when you're eating jerk chicken on the beach, right? Doesn't it? There have to be people out there. And look, I know there are people out there who have no remorse and have no empathy and are fucking shells of themselves, or, you know, they pretend to be human, whatever the fuck. But it just seems like if you do crimes, if you do terrible things, like I told you, I'm real good at, like, when I hear stuff, I can put myself in that. Like, I couldn't watch To Catch a Predator for that reason. I think we talked about this on this show before.
Yeah.
I hated it because it's like, clearly there were fucking horrible monsters on there who need to go to jail. All right. No doubt. But then there were also dudes like, they have no touchstone with reality.
Yes.
Like a dude showed up to meet a 14-year-old girl and he brought like a 12-pack of beer and he's wearing like a stained t-shirt and flip-flops and a trucker hat. And you're just like, dude, this guy's he's just mentally ill. I mean, you got to lock him up just for his own fucking good at that point. If he even thought that he was going to walk in and the girl's going to be like, hey, sexy, you know, what the fuck? What are you hoping to accomplish with that? And then even worse, I watched one time, there was some foreign dude, you know, it was funny. He expected Susie was coming to meet him because I don't know if you're aware of this. Susie went and left me for some foreign guy. And long hours crying at the record machine, dreaming of my Chevy and my old blue jeans. Never killed the thrill I got from cutting that guy's toes off in a shack. So she fucking this foreign guy shows up and he clearly he's in America and lonely and sad and his whole family's over in fucking India and he's an engineer somewhere or whatever the fuck. And he was talking to somebody online and to him, he didn't know. I mean, he knows, we all know, don't fuck a 12-year-old, whatever the fuck. But like, he convinced himself that she liked him and he shows up and then he walks in and there's Chris Hansen and his smug bullshit. And this poor fucking guy named VJ or whatever the fuck is just like, I got to get the fuck out of here, sir. I don't expect to be here. I'm very sorry, whatever. And then of course they tackle him on the lawn because they got to make a big fucking show of it and send him to jail. And if I remember right, didn't nobody go to jail for that show? Like, didn't they just go, they had to sit in the chair of shame. They had to get mocked by Chris Hansen. They had to have like a 7-Up or whatever the fuck. And then they run out and they get tackled by everybody. And then they never go to jail because it was all fucking entrapment bullshit.
What bothered me about that show was it was just a step above child porn, in my opinion. Because it exploits the whole trauma of any child that was ever sexually abused.
Okay.
I hate everything about that show. I hate everything about shows that do a live, we're going to catch somebody kind of thing, especially when it comes to children, because so much of that is just so wrong.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've talked about it on here before where I've talked to friends who I've been sitting watching television with them and they're watching Cops Las Vegas or whatever. And they're laughing. And I'm like, this is fucking sad. This show, this is like, but
that's mostly after the fact, though. That is literally crimes that are being committed and cops are being called. No one's being set up online.
I understood, but these people are at the lowest point of their fucking life. And,
I agree.
They're sitting on a curb somewhere with their pockets turned out and they might have a roach and a vape pen that had weed in it. And now they're going to go to jail. And then the wife comes out and says, he bit my arm or whatever the fuck. And then they're going to go, and it's all this nickel and dime bullshit. You know what I mean? And look, I'm not trivializing domestic violence. It's fucking awful. But what I'm saying is in the context of these shows, you know, it's just these people rolling up on domestic disturbances or whatever the fuck. And then again, they're arguing in a lawn but also it's being put on for our amusement. Like it's a fucking puppet show at a Ren fair. You know what I mean? It's just fucking embarrassing.
Yeah. We ruined news and then we made cops celebrities. And both of those things are terrible.
All right. Well, I don't want to peel the onion on all of this stuff today.
But you do have to kind of peel it. And that's why those shows are so gross. It's not, like on TikTok, they'll show a cop abusing someone or they'll show someone getting arrested or they'll put something on. But it's not like it was filmed and sold for the amusement and packaging of entertainment to the public.
But on you know what I like on TikTok? Yeah. I like when they show a guy cooking in a cast iron skillet and he's making himself some like bacon donuts or whatever.
I like that. I like that a lot more.
That's what I enjoy. That's what I'm going to do. I just pivot away. I don't need to see anybody getting handcuffed again for the rest of my life. I want to see these guys chopping garlic in the woods. That's fucking awesome.
Do you watch Chef Reactions? That's his handle.
I think that was a Journey album.
No, he's got this real deadpan voice and he's like, okay, what do we have here now? Okay, it looks like that. Okay. Yeah. And then he'll finally at the end of it goes, 8 out of 10. I'd eat it. Okay. Or he'll go 0 out of 10, but I'd still eat it because I hate myself. That kind of those types of reactions as a chef.
Well, this is where you and I disagree. I don't want any talking on my cooking clips. In fact, I'm not joking. I watch these cooking clips on TikTok and it's just people cooking shit and there's no oppressive host. There's no someone going, hey, today we make a set. Fuck you. Fuck.
Yeah. See, he makes fun of all of those things.
No. I want to see and I'm not talking about those people that I've talked about many times. The ones that are just ginned up to get content.
Yeah.
Like you sent me the clip, right? The mashed potato clip. Is that what you sent me?
Oh, I don't remember.
Somebody sent me a clip where a woman is making a steak, but she made a hamburger face. I saw it
Oh,
on
yes,
Twitter.
yes.
With 4 eggs in it, and then surrounded it with potato chips and cream and called it mashed potatoes. and that shit's only done so people will watch it. Like whenever anybody shares it, I'm furious because I'm like, you're making this happen. Because then people are like, these people should be banned from cooking forever. And I'm like, they would be if you didn't watch their fucking clips.
Yeah.
Oh, can you believe this woman made ketchup soup? Yes, I can, because you dumb fuck got roped in like a trout biting a hook. And you watched the whole fucking thing and then did her work for her by fucking sharing it.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
A lot of the disaster stuff I don't like unless it's a full-on comedy piece, because I used to do the cooking with Lily as a joke.
Sure.
And it would be, I'd pull eggs out from under my boobs. I mean, it was stupid stuff.
But that was, again, you were going for the bit.
Yeah. But he mostly will he follows 7 other cooks or chefs, and then like comments about what's great about them, and is like totally, and then finishes it off. And it's just a 30-second cooking review, and it's really usually very funny.
I don't want any
and
talking.
delightful.
The only talking I get in my cooking clip is Cooking with Cherie, is a woman I follow on TikTok, and I've talked about her. She's like a dom chef.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's just like, here's what we're going to do. You're going to do this. You're going to take this ramen. You're going to put it in this pan. And I was like, you're damn right I am. Let's go. Crack the whip and grab the leash. It looks like we're making fucking ramen. She can talk all the fuck she wants. That's fine with me. But once I discovered this other, because again, I love cooking shows. I love them. But I would love a silent cooking show where someone just cooked and you had the ASMR sounds or whatever the fuck of the sizzling. That's all I fucking want.
Did you ever watch The Cajun Chef?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that show?
I guarantee. Well, yeah, because I've evolved. That's the thing. Back then, yeah, I watched The Galloping Gourmet. I watched Julia Child. And then when Food Network, I just watched
Child.
I'd watch Emerald Cook. I'd watch because again, they made stuff, and then they started to jazz it up with entertainment. I've talked about it on here many times. Once they brought it on a live studio audience for Soup, I was like, all right, it's not. I'm out.
Live studio audience for Soup.
That's it. That's what they did. The new Iron Chef on Netflix, they gangbanged it in such a way where I'm just like, you fuckheads. Like, Iron Chef is a perfect construct.
Oh, I hated
perfect
it.
Construct. No, 2 dudes battle over with 1 ingredient and they got an hour to cook shit. It's fucking gorgeous. And it combines the sporting event thing along with like regular cooking show. It's fucking beautiful. But then when you start trying, they're like on Netflix, they're like, you know what we got to do? Jazz this up. We got to add this. We got to have a cartwheel in here. No, you don't. Nobody needs a fucking cartwheel. Let somebody make me a fucking hero sandwich and I get to watch them do it. And it's quiet. It's totally quiet. Let's have that. The AMSR sounds of the people cooking it's so beautiful. You know what I started to watch? You'll laugh. Oh my God, the sizzling is beautiful. There's I was watching hockey over the playoffs over at Gil Martin's house, right? And so when it would end, he'd be like, "What are we watching now?" We'd fucking throw in, because he watches YouTube, like he watches a ton of clips. So he'd show me these clips of. He goes, "Hey man, you ever seen that clip where the guy surfed a 200-foot wall of water?" Like, no, of course not. Like we were 2 non-stoned guys watching stuff stoned guys would watch. We're just like, oh, all right, yeah, what the hell? Throw that on. But we found a channel, and we spent all night watching it once, and then I started to watch it at my fucking house. And it's unfortunate because it's not. It doesn't. There's several channels that do this, okay. Yeah. But what it is, it's cooking from the 1700s or 1800s. So it'll be a woman in like a fucking peasant dress and the bonnet on her head, and she's got a cast iron cauldron over a fire, and she's gonna make a typical breakfast from the 1800s or the 1700s, and they don't talk. There's no like, hello, I'm Betty the Pilgrim, blah blah bullshit. Nobody gives a shit about that. It's just her like slicing potatoes, but they cook it the way they did in the 1700s. So they got to put it in the pot and put coals on top of the pot. And then they make gravy in a fucking boot. I mean, it's just fucking gorgeous where you're like, yes, this is clean. They got to go dig up the fish they buried like last season. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And I fucking fell in love with it. It was so amazing. Cooking with hot rocks and shit like that. And then, but the funniest part of it is, and I don't know if they did this because it was a 1700s thing, or if they're just oblivious to it, but the woman does all the work and the guy doesn't do a fucking thing. He'll leave like he's gonna go out and he'll bring his musket and he splits, and then he comes back and he's like, oh, and he shivers and he takes off his coat and he sits right down at the table and she serves.
Oh,
him.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm like, that's got to be real, right? Like you figure he's going out to bust out some rabbits or some bullshit or whatever, make a Magna Carta or put a key on a kite. I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing, but he's doing all that 1700 stuff that was super important for all of us. But
writing an anthem for a country.
Yeah, doing that nonsense. Who the fuck cares? Whatever. I had to go shoot a squanto. Whatever the fuck.
Oh.
What did happen? What? Oh, I just invented shooting Indians. Is that what I did?
No, but I would not use that phrasing.
Shooting a squanto? Well,
yeah,
actually, you know why that's true?
I
Because
would let
squanto.
that one fall aside.
Well, because squanto's a dude. That's right. Because squanto's one person. Yeah. So shooting a maiden, whatever the fuck. He's out there John Smithing. He's John Smithing all over the goddamn place. Is what he's doing. That's what he's doing. And when you come home, you want to have a pot of potatoes and gruel ready for you, goddammit. Honey, slice up that rabbit I shot 4 decades ago. in the fucking 1400s. But I loved it. I couldn't stop watching it. And again, because they don't talk. Yeah. And it's all the same. You know, I don't know if it's a knife or just a really sharp microphone that's going like through the fucking potatoes and shit. God damn, I love it. I'm on board. There's some, and this on TikTok, there's like 4 different chefs. There's some Asian guy, and he'll make it's all quick cuts and bang, 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 bang. And he'll make stuff. And at the end, he eats it. Like, he'll eat it in 3 bites because they do it super fast. Like, and he just like thumbs up. Yeah, that shit, I'll watch that all goddamn day. Like you could just put that in a loop. This dude, like he's in the wild, and it's just got dumb. It's fucking amazing. The food is amazing. And he does knife tricks, like he slices, his knives are so fucking sharp. But then they'll show a fish, like in the stream. Unless you're going to kill that fucking fish, I don't need a guest star. I'm here to watch you make whatever the fuck you're going to make. But also, because that's what it reminds me of, though. It's like cooking in today's, starring onions, garlic, knives, special guest star, Timmy the Trout. I don't need a shot of Timmy at all unless he's going in the pan. You want to show me a fish? Put him in the goddamn pan.
What if go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
No.
I'm just saying he brings a dog out too sometimes, but I can't be mad at you showing a dog because a dog should be in everything always. It should be on every show. They should be constantly, the cameras on them at all times. Here's how I'm any dog. I told you, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I watch all the clips with dogs. I saw a clip today. Dude, it was 2 Asian kids eating, like little baby kids. It was like, it looked like a brother and sister, and the brother was probably 8 and the sister might have been 4. And he's eating rice with chopsticks and she's next to him, and there's a bowl like between them, and it's got one dumpling and or whatever, one piece of like one breaded whatever the fuck, and he's eating the rice, and then he's looking right at his rice bowl, and then she reaches over and she grabs the last dumpling, and then right when she does it, he puts his chopsticks in the bowl and he's kind of feeling around for the dumpling. He's not even looking at her or the bowl. And then she sees him doing that, and she puts the dumpling back into the bowl. And then he's feeling around, and then he grabs it, and he picks it up, and he dunks it in a sauce, and he puts it in her bowl. And she kind of looks and like, what? And then she smiles, and she looks at him, and he keeps eating his rice, and she kisses him on the cheek. Because he shared the dumpling with her, because she thought and she did a nice thing for him, put it back in the bowl, because he was just like flailing around, and then he gave it to her, and she kissed him on the cheek. And I cried for an hour because that's who I am these days. Sobbing, just sobbing. Because anybody who's being nice at all, I like it. Like on Facebook or whatever, people I've never even met or whatever. And they're just like, hey, I got that job. And you're just, yes, that's awesome for you. I just want to go hug everybody all the time who gets good news. Just be like, yay, hug. It'd be awesome. But then, unfortunately, I'm still me. So then I wind up shouting at somebody at Walgreens. And you're like, oh, dude, couldn't you be nice?
They all need to be yelled at Walgreens.
Well, just, you know what? I had, all right, here's 2 things that happened. I had 2 fucking, fuck. I overreacted a bit at my house.
What?
Yeah, I know. Well, all right. My apartment is great because it's literally like 7 steps from the carport, and 7 steps from the laundry room. It's just, they're almost equidistant from my, from the washing machines. And, which by the way, at 55, nothing better than walking to your washing machine. But so in the laundry room, they got that washing machines, whatever the fuck. But they have a huge garbage bag, a huge garbage can too, where you throw your lint in when you're done with the dryer and stuff like that. So, I'm in my house, and, the managers, I've discussed my managers before, and, look, whatever, but sure enough, the husband of the manager is, and he and I have always gotten along. He seems like a good guy. But she handles the bulk of whatever the fuck is going on here because he has another gig, But he comes over to my door and he goes, "Hey," and he goes, "Man, you can't be throwing your food garbage in the laundry room." I go, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Your food, like your fast food garbage, you can't be dumping that in the laundry room, man. It's just we're not your trash service." I go, and I could have just said, well, that wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about, but I would, I don't throw anything in there except laundry related material. So you should probably commence your search elsewhere. And though I appreciate your advice and warnings, they're not necessary because I would never do such a thing, which would be polite and nice and take care of it. But instead, I stood up and I go, "Do I look like a fucking animal?" And he takes like a step back from my screen door because now I come walking over to the fucking door. I go, "What the fuck makes you think I would do anything like that?" And I know I can tell you exactly why. Can you guess why I got this mad? I'll bet you can.
I don't know why.
Because it was food garbage. Yeah. And they thought Fatty was too lazy and threw his food in the laundry room. And it triggered me in a way where because again, it was like he was calling me fat or a slob or disgusting because also, did he think I'm sitting in the laundry room eating tacos in the dark like Gollum, and then I'm going to just throw the fucking, and I go, "What the fuck makes you think I would do something like that?" And he goes, whoa. And I go, no, I got a garbage can in here, dude. I go, I didn't throw anything in the fucking laundry room unless it's fucking laundry. And he's just like, "Mike, cool." Yeah. I go, and I just kind of took a breath and I was like, "All right." I go, "I would never do that." And it's funny. I always find it with the canard of like, I've lived here 25 years. I don't disrespect the place I live. Yeah. But also part of me wants to go, I've lived here 25 years. I know the fucking rules by now. You know what I mean? It's like, I learned the first day when I threw the side of beef that tipped over Fred Flintstone's car into the laundry room garbage, and you yelled at me then. 7 managers ago, they yelled at me when I threw maggot-infested chicken stew in there. I mean, of course, I've learned over the years. But I got so fucking mad. I know it was because when I thought about it after, I was like, that's because it was food. It was because it was a food related deal. Do I look like a fucking animal? And I got up from the couch and he's just like, he took a step back like, "Oh no." It was fucking awful. And I felt bad after. I was kind of shocked how quickly I went from 0 to fucking grizzly bear. You know what I mean? Because I don't get mad anymore. I try not to anyway, he said, as he were about to relate all these stories about when he got fucking mad like an idiot. So I had that happen with him. And also I went to Walgreens and this wasn't even a fight. It was just more of a disagreement. It's not even worth telling you about. I shouldn't do it, but now I fucking brought it up. Fuck. All right. So I go over and I don't know if you know this, there's been inflation recently and a lot of prices on things have gone through. Yeah. Potato chips, literally a bag of potato chips, which used to be $2.99 is now like $4.99 at my Walgreens, or even $5.69, $5.39. A lot of nines in there. So they had some Doritos and they were on sale 2 for $7. Okay. But I didn't want two bags of Doritos. I just wanted a bag of, there's the tamarind Doritos, these new Doritos that I found. I've not tried them. I'm excited. I want to eat them on my live stream because I like to eat weird chips on my live stream. And I saw the tamarind Doritos and I was like, all right, you know what? That's worth, because it was 1 for $6 or 2 for $7. I'm like, well, fuck this. You know what I mean? Because I will say during the pandemic, I rediscovered the joy of Doritos. They taste like high school. They taste like high school.
Yeah.
You would, every time you went to somebody's house, there was a bag of nacho cheese Doritos, always. And so I eat those, and then now they have the taco Doritos, which taste like when I was a kid. Like those were Lenny's favorite Doritos, and I like just the plain corn ones, which were awesome.
Yeah.
But it shocked me to buy them during the pandemic, because I was like, whatever the fuck, I'm bored. I'm just eating whatever the fuck I want. And to find out that Doritos have not changed a bit. They're still fucking, you could inhale a fucking bag. They're so good. But again, also the nostalgia hits you right in the goddamn brain pan, because they taste just like when you were a fucking kid.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, well, I'll just get a bag of fucking like nacho cheese Doritos to go. So I got 2 for $7, whatever. I'll inhale these. Who cares? And I brought it to the counter, and she rang it up, and it was like $13. Wow. And I said, nah, it seems high. And she said, well, no, they're 6 each or whatever. And I go, no, they're 2 for $7. She goes, no, they're not 2 for $7. I said, there's a sign. There's a little tag. It says 2 for $7 Doritos. She goes, huh? She goes, I'll be right back. So she leaves the counter, which is always good, by the way, because that doesn't make you feel like a cheap penny pinching tightwad Scrooge when you make the hourly employee go walk to the other aisle with people behind you waiting, because they're just like, oh my God, it's fucking Doritos. Pay for the fucking Doritos, you cheap fuck. You know what I mean? And look, are they really thinking that? Probably not. That's also probably in my brain. Oh, Fatty needs a price check on Doritos because he needs to save $1. Good for you, dick. Well, first of all, it's not $1; it's $6. I'm trying to save here, and step off my goddamn dick. So she comes back and she goes, no, sir, I'm sorry. These are 6 each. And I said, did you see the sign? She goes, yeah, it says 2 for $7. And I go, yeah. She goes, these don't count. I said, what do you mean? She goes, she holds up the tamarind ones. She goes, those aren't in the deal. I go, it says 2 for $7 for Doritos. She goes, these are extra special. And I mean,
are they?
How do you argue it? But how do you argue with that? You're just like, all right, well, I'll just take those then. I don't need, I didn't need the bonus bag or whatever the fuck. Certainly I'm buying, if these are extra special, of course, as I did, I just bought them and I walked out. And
there they are.
There they are.
See, I would not have bought them. I would have said, wow, that's really misleading advertising. I'm not going to take them. I'll put them back for you.
No, I put back the nacho cheese, but I wanted the tamarind because, again, I tried them on the stream usually.
But did you want 2? Or were you buying 2 so did you buy both, or did you just buy 1?
No, I just said I bought the tamarind. That's it. I put the cheese back because it was 2 for $7.
So I'm sorry. So
that's okay.
Okay. I was confused. I thought you had 3 or 4 bags there. Like you got 2 of those.
What am I, a fucking animal?
I'm the person that it's like, oh, if it's 2 for something, I will buy the 2 flavors I want and get the 2 flavors free, because I have a scarcity issue of childhood that there will never be food in the house for me again, because my dad will call and my mom will throw everything into the oven and put $20 on the counter and leave. We all have our childhood drama, don't we?
We do. Yeah, I got some of that too. I got some of that in my Booyah base. Certainly.
So literally, I'm like, of course he would have 4 there, because he would have 2 of those and 2 of those. You wouldn't you wouldn't mix them. That just seems irrational. Right?
Yeah, you got to get 2 of each. Well, I'll tell you what, if it was during the pandemic, I absolutely would have had 4 bags of Doritos. There's no doubt. Because I would, just to make sure I didn't have to venture back out into the petri dish to go buy more snack chips. And like I said, I didn't get mad at her, but it was just that thing where it was like, the sign says it, and you have that little back and forth. So I didn't really shout at her.
Did you turn around and apologize to everyone behind you? Sorry, I read the sign wrong.
Not this time.
Good.
I'm
Good.
Sure I've done it in the past.
You're growing. You're growing as a human.
So here's what I did over the weekend. I went and saw our good friend Elton John.
How was he? Did he say hi? Did you tell him I said hi?
I did mention that to him, certainly. And he was like, "Oh, the bitch! I thought she was back." So I went.
That's exciting, because all I got was like 5 people to text me and go, "Elton John's live on HBO right now."
Yeah, and a lot of people were going crazy. It was on Disney Max
Or
I
Disney,
think, or
whatever.
Plus,
It was
whatever
on
the
one
fuck,
of them. Yeah.
But I had bought this ticket, and I've talked about it here on the show. When he announced that it was his final tour, like, and I thought he was like, "This will be my last show," and
Yeah.
I'm closing out the tour at Dodger Stadium because that's where I started in LA,
Mhm.
and some of my best shows were at Dodger Stadium, so I'm closing it all out at Dodger Stadium. And then he announced that he announced two shows, Saturday and Sunday. And so I bought a Sunday ticket. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm going to his final show here forever, because Elton John, now I've seen him 4 times before. I saw him at Vegas at his residency thing. I saw him on the fucking Nikita tour in '85, just before he
Wow.
had his throat surgery. And then I saw him another time here in the early 2000s. But all right. I like Elton John a lot. I just assumed I
He's
liked
wonderful.
Elton John a lot, right? But then when the Rocket Man movie came out, I don't know if you saw it.
Yes.
I realized just how huge a part of my life he's been. You know, I never thought of it that way. He was just always a presence, and I always liked his music, and I listened to it all the time. But it wasn't like, you know, like Van Halen was always my band or whatever the fuck, and Pearl Jam, bands that I love. But it made me realize just how much I love Elton John and his music. I mean, when I saw Rocket Man, and then I did a Rock Solid episode for Christmas, I think it was last year, and there's a song he has that's a Christmas song that we used to play at my house that I had totally almost forgotten about, because the first album of his that I ever started to really listen to was Rock of the Westies. I think it's the name of the album, and it had Island Girl on it.
Yeah.
And then I was exposed to all of his stuff again, because I was a kid I was 8 years old in '75.
Yeah.
Stuff you heard on the radio, Kiki D, you know, I knew that song. But he meant so much to me, you know, and especially seeing the movie, like I said, brought all that home. The first time I ever told a woman I loved her, Levon was playing on the radio.
Wow.
And I can't hear that song without thinking of that moment. You know what I mean? Because especially because I didn't know what it meant or what love was or anything. I was crying in a hotel room with a girl, you know, it was like crazy. She was the maid, which was a little strange for her, probably. She was very uncomfortable, but I pulled it off and made it work.
Word.
Yeah. I still send her a Christmas card. It's perfect. So I had to go. I was like, I'm seeing his final fucking show. I can't. Then he had another show on the Thursday, and I was like, oh man, don't start adding shows. If you had a Monday show, I'm going to fucking kill you. I don't care how much you meant to me in my life. I mean, I am going to end you, fucking Elton John. Don't even. So he announced this tour, and it was going to be the final tour. And the day it went on sale, that it was announced, I was like, fuck, I have to get a ticket when it goes on sale. So they did. And I jumped in super quick. And I bought a ticket. I didn't check with friends, because a lot of friends have seen him a lot.
Yeah.
Pat, you know, and Pat doesn't pay for concert tickets anymore. He goes to shows, and he has because of the podcast,
Yeah.
he is consistently working with publicists and things. And he's, if he wants to go to a show, he can find a way to go to a show, which is super great. But I mean, big shows, he'll fucking, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But he had already seen him, and whatever. The point was, I always wanted to do it fast and get a fucking ticket, because I was going to that final show. I did the same thing with the Monkees when they announced that their final show was at the Greek, because they were like, it started at the Greek and we're ending it at the Greek. Granted, Davey and Peter ended it quite a bit sooner
Earlier.
but then I saw Mike. It was funny because then I saw Mike and Mickey at the Greek, and on their website they were like, "Don't worry, Richmond, Virginia, we haven't forgotten you. We'll come back for our makeup show in 2 weeks after this show in Los Angeles." I'm like, you fucking jerks.
Yep.
I was so mad at them, because I'm like, this was your farewell. This was your fucking goodbye, buttoning it up, closing shop, bringing it all down, the curtains down on the Monkees. But thankfully, Mike died, and they didn't do the fucking Richmond, Virginia show. So take that.
You know, that's a always look on the bright side of life kind of
Okay.
attitude
Look, man.
there.
You know what? Don't fuck with me is my point. You know what I mean? You're like, I bought a ticket to come and see you guys. I'd never seen them. I didn't see the Davey shows. I mean, but also the Monkees meant a lot to me. It seems ridiculous, but they did. grew up listening to their music. I grew up watching the fucking show. Every episode, it would be on in the summer. We went out and played after the Monkees. That was like once the Monkees were done from 11:30 to 12. Then we went out. Then we'd go out and play baseball or football or whatever. But we all watched the Monkees. Everybody in my neighborhood. We all
I watched
fucking
them
loved
after school.
it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
watched them. I watched them now. Like they were just on.
Yeah.
MeTV ran a fucking. And I will tell you this. MeTV ran a fucking like a marathon. This is back before I cut the cords. This is probably 2017. And they had just brought it back. So they're like, we're going to show it all day, for Saturday and Sunday. So I just DVR'd all of them. And I was watching them in a row. And man, I had never seen, because when I saw them as a kid, they're all chopped to fucking hell because they needed to fit them in these morning slots and get a bunch of cereal commercials in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I didn't see them first run. So I had never seen them perform Rio Rio, the Christmas song that they did. Rio Rio Shiu. I think it's Rio Rio Shiu. I don't remember the name.
Something like that. Yeah. I don't remember.
I was like moved to tears watching that, for fuck's sake, because it's Mickey and Davy singing, and then they bring in the whole crew and the performers and the writers, and they have them say hi to their families as they're waving and they're singing. They did this a cappella version of this song. And I'm like, how did I never see this? And it's because those syndicated versions were all chopped up. So then watching the ones on MeTV, I started to see things I'd never seen or missed scenes or closing scenes. And I was like, this is fucking amazing. It was like a whole new treasure trove, right? So then when they announced that they were closing up, I'm like, well, I got to go see them. And I'm glad I went. It was sad because A, they were shutting down the whole enterprise, and B, Mike should not have been there.
Yeah.
I had, from where I was sitting in the Greek, I had a vantage point into the wings. So like stage left, I could see two people walk Mike up to an X and stand him there. And he's just looking at the ground. And then they'd pat him on the back when he had to walk out to the stage. It was pretty wild to watch. Like he was not there, and he even came out at one point and he did he started telling a story and talking, and he was going nowhere. And the fans were like, yay, my woohoo, they're trying to get him through it. And he would freeze. And then Mickey'd be like, okay, Mike, let's go ahead. Because Mike, Mickey's still fucking sharp as two fucking tacks. And now Mickey's touring. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, and look, I can't tell a guy not to make money. I've talked about it before. If you're a rock star, you don't need to retire, whatever the fuck.
Doesn't he have solo stuff though?
No, he's touring under Mickey does the songs of the Monkees. Like he's doing that deal. And I don't know if he has solo stuff. I mean, but even if he did solo stuff, wouldn't you be like, if Mickey's like, hey, here's a new one, wouldn't you go, do me a favor, do Randy Scott Skate 40 times? I don't need to hear your new fucking song. Just, she's a wonderful lady and she's mine, all mine, whatever the fuck. All right. So, so I saw them, and so that was the same deal with Elton John. I'm like, I got to fucking check this out. It's the last fucking show ever, right? He's going to knock it down. It's going to be brilliant. And then he announces that, he's doing a European tour. So this is his final show in North America. And all I can say to you, Elton John, is perhaps you don't know the power that I wield. If you have any questions, you can call the Nesmith family. And just maybe watch your step the next couple of weeks. That's my point. So good for him doing this fucking tour, whatever the fuck, that's fine. But when he announced this, so I buy this ticket, right? He announces he's doing it. I'm like, I got it. And I bought it it was like February or whatever the fuck. So, and then they're like, this show's in November. And I'm like, all right, well, that's a long time to wait, but that's fine. And as it started to get closer, I was like, I went to look it up, and I'm like, oh, I forgot the date on that. So I wanted to put it into my phone, on my calendar. And I it turned out that I bought a ticket in like February of 2021 for the show in November of 2022. So I literally have been waiting almost 2 years for this show. He announced a proper farewell tour, and he had put the tickets on sale 2 years in advance or whatever the fuck. So I thought last year I was going to see him in November, and then because I saw the Monkees in November, I was like, aha, it's the closeout month. And then no, Elton John. I got a full year to fucking wait for Elton John to show up, which made me laugh. And I'm like, all right, well, good for him. But I once again, I've given Ticketmaster an interest-free loan for fucking 19 months. Good for them.
Hate them.
Of course, we hate everybody.
Ticketmaster and Live Nation can go get fucked.
Well, of course they can. It's disappointing, quite frankly, because I would love to go see Tay Tay. I'm a huge fan. But after what happened with everything falling apart and the machinations of Live Nation and Ticketmaster, I just don't see a ticket for me in the cards for now. When we get closer, perhaps I go secondary market, because this woman is playing 5 fucking shows at SoFi. That's fucking 500,000 people.
Would you go see her?
For
So
real?
that she then retires?
Oh, you would
I'm kidding.
wield
I'm
my
teasing.
dark powers?
No, I'm teasing. I'm like, good for her. I'm glad she can sell things out. I think it's wonderful.
She's also great.
Yeah.
I told you, she's fucking, her music is fucking fantastic. There's what was the song? Marry Me? Is that the song? Oh my God. Just catchy
Yeah.
as fuck. Like all of her stuff is great. And then was it the 1989 album? With You've Got That I can't remember. But I bought that album. I was like, holy fuck. That's the one with Shake It Off. It's got Shake It Off on there.
Yeah.
And
I didn't even know she did Shake It Off because I'd only ever seen it on TikTok. I did not know the song. I don't know if you know this, but I don't know new music
apparently
at all. I literally have stopped listening to the radio. And one of the things that I was just talking about with my friend is my relationship with music was I would hear it on the radio and I would go to the record store and I would know one song and I would buy the album and then I would listen to the album.
Yes.
And I would buy the cassette and I would listen to the whole cassette. In there, I also had 8 tracks for a while as well. But it was like, then I got compact discs and it was like, physically, I would then go, what do I want to listen to? What mood am I in? As I'm flipping through, and then I would find something to match my energy.
Right.
Man, I'm like, hey, Alexa, I want to listen to some music. What should I listen to? I don't know. And I literally have to like go online and like search Lisa music. And I'm like, oh yeah, Lisa and the Cold Jam, Lisa. Oh, I'll listen to Lisa Stansfield. I remember, oh God, I used to listen to that album. I have no touchstone now that I haven't been doing Monday Night Teas for 5 years. I literally don't know music. I watch Saturday Night Live and I'm like, I don't know who these groups are. I don't know who these artists are. None of them.
There was some dude on
I am
Saturday Night
so
Live
out.
a couple weeks ago, and man, I just thought the performance was so amateur night. Like I couldn't. In my brain, I was like, "Why is this dude?" And then I found out I think he has like 10 million YouTube subscribers, and the song was big on Spotify and stuff. Yeah. But I watched it and I was like, "This looks like a guy doing a high school talent show." I mean, it was so fucking bad to me. And I look, I want to like new things because I have Spotify. I know you don't have it, but
I don't.
They'll do a weekly new music chart. If you want, every week you could listen to new music, which I do sometimes. I'll throw it on.
Does it bother you to listen to new music?
No, I want to find good new music that's good. I mean, as long as it's good, like there's the larger, like that. I don't know. I don't want to have a fight.
I get anxious when I listen to a bunch of new music that I don't know.
Really?
It makes me, it's like watching new movies. Sometimes I'll just start watching them and I'll be like, I used to have to watch a movie till the very end. And now I'm just like, I'm done. I can't, I don't want to put this into my brain. I'd rather go watch, Love Actually again.
No,
because I know what's going to end and it's going to be okay and comforting.
Right. You know who's got
even
that?
The tears are comforting.
Mex is like that.
Yeah.
I was at Mex's house and I was like, dude, there's this comedy show on Netflix. It's called I Think You Should Leave. I said, it is fucking hysterical. I go, and he's just like, nah, I'm not interested. And I'm like, no, I go, dude, I go, the episodes are 15 minutes long. I go, we'll watch one. And if it's not for you, we don't have to watch another, but I'm telling you, dude, it's fucking hilarious. He goes, nah, that's just not, I don't want to do that, whatever. And I go, dude, it's 15 minutes. And he goes, I don't want to fucking watch it. Like he was mad.
Well, I don't get that angry.
Well, I was pushing it I understood, it's anxiety. Like he doesn't want to watch, and he also doesn't want to sit there with me. Because again, when I hang out at his place, first of all, he told me, he goes, Mike, when you're not here, I don't watch any TV. Like I'm in the fucking cat house just creating, which is awesome. He goes, but if I'm there, we'll stay up all night and we'll watch fishing shows, and which is fun. Because then he picks a fisherman and I pick a fisherman, and then we did to see who's going to win, like who's going to catch the most fish.
Why is everything a competition? Let it be an exhibition.
No, it's totally fun. No, you got to pick your guy because you got to root for somebody. It's a fishing show. What am I going to I'm just going to watch it passively?
Why
Fuck
would you
that.
watch a fishing show anyway?
Because you got to pick up guy who wins. And also Mex was into them because he was fishing. He picked up fishing. So he started watching the shows. And he was telling me about like guys' personalities and shit. Like, is there some guys who just, they go off the fucking chart trying to be all like, I forget some dude's name, but he overacts and he's like, yeah, he's all fucking geeked up catching fucking fish. But yeah, he wouldn't watch it. By the way, have you ever seen I Think You Should Leave?
No.
Okay. Well,
Is it on YouTube or Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
And there's 2 seasons so far.
I've blocked the entire Comedy Channel on Netflix because they have a tendency to bring comedians that I do not ever want to watch onto my TV. So I don't ever wander down the Comedy Channel. I just don't. I don't want to watch comedy specials. I don't want to watch comedy shows. Sure. I don't.
Right. Well, your joyless existence aside, this show is a terrific show. It's a sketch show. And
what's it called again?
It's called I Think You Should Leave.
All right, I will try it.
Well, let me preface this by saying you may hate it instantly because it's absurd. It is, all right. Let me ask you this. This will be a good gauge. Did you ever watch Tim and Eric? Awesome show. Great job.
Yes.
Did you think it was funny?
I thought the concept was funny.
Yeah.
But I'm old.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because some people don't like cringe humor. Some people don't like that kind of stuff that's like anti-humor. And I totally get that. Because in some instances, I hate it too.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. I just was like, yeah, I see why people like this.
Exactly.
I see why people liked The Office. I see why people liked Friends.
Exactly. But I Think You Should Leave. It's just, I can't even describe it to you. It is just an absurd sketch show. All right. Well, I'll tell you the first one to watch. Let me give you one to watch. And if you like that one, then you can open yourself as a gateway to others. Because that's what I did with my buddy Ahmad. Ahmad was here, and I'm like, "You ever heard of this?" And he's like, "I haven't." I go, "All right, let me show you one." Like I try to do with David, and I go, and thankfully he watched it. And he goes, "This is the funniest thing I've ever seen." And I'm like, "All right, let's watch all of them then." And we did.
Did you watch a lot of Adult Swim? Did you watch like C Lab 2020 and Aqua Teen Hunger Force and stuff like that?
I loved Aqua Teen.
I loved Aqua Teen.
Fucking loved it so much.
I loved it. So again, sometimes it hits because like even now I watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force and I'm just like, why was this funny? Why was this funny?
Because it is.
And then you laugh
Because it
again.
is. Yes. Like C Lab, I gave it a chance. It was fine.
Space Ghost.
Space Ghost was really funny.
Oblongs I loved. They were later.
Didn't watch them. But I did watch. You know what was a fucking brilliant show was Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
Yes.
I don't even know if that's Adult Swim or not, but that show is genius. Like it's just genius. That's what I mean. There's a lot of stuff out there that you're just like, man, this is good. But then they also had a show that was on Adult Swim, The Hark She Holler, I think it was called, and it was a live action one, and it was Patton, I think, is in it, a bunch of comedian type people, and it just wasn't for me. Again, it's making fun of hillbillies and making fun of the, whatever the fucking parody of a soap opera type, whatever. It just wasn't for me. I didn't dig it. It felt like, for me, it had a Mary Hartman vibe. And I know a lot of people love Mary Hartman.
I loved Mary Hartman. I thought it was just absurd because I had grown up watching General Hospital and all my children. So when it came along, I was like, oh, this is hilarious. And Soap was the same way for that.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't get Mary Hartman. And it's on me. It just wasn't. It wasn't.
Oh, I don't think it's on you. It's either you buy into this ridiculous premise of nonsense or you don't. It's just that. It's that simple.
I remember Waxy Yellow Buildup. All that stuff. So I'm saying, but for me, it was, as a kid, I didn't.
Yeah.
And I watched Monty Python every weekend. I fucking thought it was genius. And you mentioned Soap. Soap is top 10 funniest shows of all time. Soap should be watched by everybody. It is so unbelievably brilliant. I'm going to do it. I don't care. Jimmy Bayo's in it. And when he loses his virginity to his teacher, because he's all kind of nebbishy and nervous and whatever around her. But then the day he loses the virginity, she's out there making coffee. He walks out of the bedroom with a fucking robe on and a pipe in his mouth, like fucking Hefner. Yeah. And he's all confident. He totally changes his demeanor. And he goes, this is great. This is great. This is like discovering America or a third arm or something. It's one of my favorite lines I've ever heard in a fucking TV show. It's like discovering America or a third arm or something. He's so fucking jazzed.
He was hilarious.
And again, the Hey Fat Boy, I've talked about it on here a million times. Hey, we're the Step Brothers. Where's the audition? Audition here? Oh, the audition's here. Oh God.
Yeah, there's so
Soap
much
is genius. So I think you should leave. It became it's so memeable. Like everybody, again, I'll send you. I'll tell you which one to watch.
Okay.
But but you'll watch perhaps Coffin Floppers you will enjoy. Perhaps we're all trying to find the guy who did this. Perhaps there's Paul, you have no good car ideas. Oh, dude.
So this isn't one that you have to watch in order. This is kind of
No,
like
it's sketches.
Salt's
It's all
favorite.
sketches. It's all just nonsense sketches. And it is fucking, it's a guy named Tim Robinson who used to be on Saturday Night Live. And again, they didn't know what they had. You know, that sort of things.
Tim is hilarious.
He's really, just this show is fucking brilliant. And
Good.
he's got the
All
guys
right, I'll
from
try it.
Detroiters and whatever the fuck.
All right, I'm gonna go now because I'm gonna go watch it.
What the hell? Hold on a second. Let me finish. How did we even vibe into that? I don't even remember. how
We were
did it.
talking about Elton John. We were talking about music. We started talking about CDs and
new
records and
music.
emotions, and then we moved into
We talked about new music, how you
Yes.
can't, how nobody likes
Yeah.
some people don't like new music or whatever. Like I said, I like discovering when I hear something that's new, I'm just like, whoa, that's fucking great. So whatever, but also, did you hear him?
no,
All right,
can't hear it.
My neighbor's making noises, and I don't know if you guys can ever hear it. Fuck, where was I going? We're talking about Elton, but there was some other point I wanted to raise.
New music, finding new music, listening to new stuff.
Oh, Spotify, and
Spotify.
then you don't watch, but then there was a thing, whatever the fuck, monkeys, who gives a fuck? All right, so.
But how was the Elton John concert?
All right, so I buy this ticket. I got it for 2 years, right? Oh, it was me reaching out to people to see if they wanted to go.
Yeah.
And I didn't because I knew, again, because it was a pretty pricey ticket. All right. And again, it was when I was flush with pandemic money. So thank you, virus. The only reason I got to see Elton John is because the virus came to town. Someone ate bat soup and I got to go see Elton John. So the show was Sunday night. And then they announced that they were going to be streaming it on Disney, and they said there were going to be some special guests, and they named the special guests in the paper. They named 3 of them, and they said with more surprises planned and all of these things. And I was excited then because it was not only his final show in North America, but now it was an event. Now it was going to be streamed, and there might be all sorts of people coming out and joining him for songs, and I was so stoked, right? So show is and so I get an email on Wednesday from Dodger Stadium. And they're like, things to know for the Elton John concert. And you can't bring bags into the place anymore unless they're clear and you can see through them, all these different things. But the most important thing they said right at the top, they go, Elton John starts promptly at 8:00 p.m. Please be here. It starts at 8:00 p.m. You must be here. He will, if you don't want to miss a second, please be in your seat at 8:00. They could not stress it enough on Wednesday. And then they had the Thursday show. And then Friday, I got an email and it said, listen to us. Some of you didn't, but listen to us. Like essentially the tone change where they're like, we're not kidding. Elton John starts right at 8:00 p.m. So please be in the stadium, and then the bags and all that bullshit. And then he performs on Saturday. On Saturday, I got another email where they're like, hey, Saturday night showgoers, 8:00. And then he performed Saturday night. And I don't even think it came in the morning. I think it came late Saturday night. Oh my God, what is wrong with you people? You must be here by 8:00 when Elton John starts his show. So you don't need to tell me 4 times, even though you did. So I'm like, I'm going to fucking be there. Right. And I can run late for things. Like I run late for the gym sometimes or whatever the fuck. But if I don't run late for movies. I'm never late to movies and shit like that because I don't want to miss a second. That's the whole point. And also, I bought this ticket 2 fucking years ago. And I think I paid an entire relief check for it. You know what I mean? So it was like, I'm fucking going. I'm going to go to the show. So I'm not going to miss a second of it. So I leave what time? Let me ask you this. You know where I live in the Valley? Do you know from the Valley to Dodger Stadium, you know kind of how far it is?
40 minutes.
It's about 12 miles.
Yeah, about
Okay.
40 minutes then.
It's about 40 minutes. With traffic.
Yeah,
It can be 40 minutes.
on an average busy day, it would be about
Yeah.
40 minutes.
But this is a Sunday. All right.
And a concert.
What time do you leave my house if you want to make sure you're there and in your seat by 8:00?
2:30.
Whoa.
I don't know. I would say maybe cautiously 6:00.
I left my house at 6:10 p.m.
Okay.
because and then when I got to my car, when I set up the Google Maps, it said it was 45 minutes from my house to Dodger Stadium with the traffic. So I was leaving at 6:10, and I'm like, you know what? I'll get there an hour early. I'll have a hot dog. I'll talk to some Rocket Men. It'll be totally fine. I'll have a good time. And I got to be honest with you, I normally would have left later, but someone saved my life tonight by sending me 4 emails telling me when I should arrive. So I leave at 6:10, and I go on the 134, and I'm chugging because and also the thing is, Dodger Stadium is a lot like LAX. Google Maps will go, what route do you want to take? And I'm going, isn't that your fucking job? Really? I mean, they'll be like, well, you can take this one, or this is fuel efficient, or then this is this way, or you can go, what gate are you entering? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like I just applied for a gig at Trader Joe's. Yes, it's come to this. So I applied for a gig at Trader Joe's, and on their website, they're like, fill out an app, and it said, pick a location. Well, I just want to file a shotgun application that all the Trader Joe's nationwide can look at and go, we need that guy, whatever the fuck. But instead, you got to pick the actual store. So I filled it out, and then I waited fucking 17 days, as Prince would say. And the location I chose, no interest in a Mike Schmidt. They're not in the Mike Schmidt business, which is fine. But now what that means is now I have to fill out an app for another fucking joint. You know what I mean? I got to pick, because I picked one that was new, that just opened. So I figured, well, they got to have some turnover there. They realized they hired a bunch of dicks. But then also part of me thinks, did they go and listen to the show and listen to this and go, I can't. That's another thing. I'm not living the unexamined life. Clearly, my life is perched directly under your magnifying glass. So it's like they're gonna find me and go, did that guy say that for real? Do we really want him putting peas in a fucking frozen container? So I don't know if that happened, but so now I have to apply at whatever the fuck, any number of different Trader Joe's. Perhaps Trader Joseph, he'd be interested. Trader Joe, a lot more impersonal. I need to go to the sophisticated one with my bow tie. So with that though, again, I wanted all the locations to go, well, we could use them, like that kind of thing. And that's how I feel with this taking the trip to Dodger Stadium. Google Maps is like, where do you want to enter? What gate? Sunset Gate A, Sunset Gate B? Do you want to come? And I'm like, this is your fucking job. What's the fastest one? I don't fucking care. They do it with LAX too. Terminal 5 arrivals, Terminal 5 departures, Terminal 4. Just get me to the fucking airport and I'll figure the rest out. You don't need to factor that time in. It seems like a silly thing to do. So I picked Sunset Gate A, whatever the fuck. And it was, like I said, 46 minutes. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I drive and I'm banging through the 134 down to Glendale off the Avenue, whatever the fuck. And I notice once I get off on Glendale, like it now says that it's 20 minutes. Okay. So it did increase a little bit and the number is now red, which means there's traffic.
That's never good.
But as I'm getting closer and I'm putting miles between me and getting to the stadium. And now it says, I was like 7 miles from the stadium. Then I was 6 miles from the stadium. Then I was 5 miles and it still was saying it was 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh, that's bad. Because I've been through this before. When you drive to LAX at holiday time.
Oh yeah. It
will tell you that it's going to be, 50 minutes or a half an hour, whatever the fuck. And then as you get closer to the airport, the number doesn't change. And then I've sat on Sepulveda Boulevard going the last mile and a half to the airport for 34 minutes before. It's fucking death. So I recognized what was happening, but I was like, all right. So I get out of Google Maps and I restart it to find the fastest route, whatever the fuck. But dude, because now it was 6:10 and then it was 6:45 and then it's 6:55 and then it's 7:05 and then it's 7:20 and it's still saying it's like 11 minutes and I'm like, and it won't change. And I'm doubling back. I'm going up this road and I'm doing a U-turn out of this particular way. Now I'm chasing it and you can't fucking chase it. You got to pick a lane and just fucking go. But it was really driving me crazy. And I'm like, because now from 6:10, I figured, like I said, 7 o'clock, even 7:10, I think an hour it takes. Now it's 7:30, man. And again, I don't know if you heard, you need to be in your seat because Elton John starts promptly at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, people. So I double back, I move, I hum, and I get up and I'm up near, I think it's Stern or Scott. And now I'm merging in and I'm right by the fucking stadium. And I'm like, this is gorgeous. So now, I need to pull up my parking pass, which I had to buy previously the night before online because on the computer, If you buy it early, it's $40. If you buy it at the stadium, it's $50. Either way, I think we can all agree both of those prices are outrageous, but still, that's the way they do it. So I bought the $40 ticket or the parking the night before, and I merge in and I get up to the gate and I'm trying to open my phone and I have no reception.
Oh, fuck.
And it won't, I can open up the email that says that I purchased it, but it doesn't have the fucking scannable code. And look, it says right in the email, make sure you open this at your fucking house. But I've already ignored 4 of your emails. I'm not going to fucking read this one. Yeah. So sure enough, I'm pressing it and I'm trying to get into the MLB app and it won't even go in there. Now, luckily I had taken a screenshot of my ticket. But it won't give me the parking pass. And now I'm getting closer and I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't want to have this conversation. I go, you know what? Maybe it's such a fucking zoo that they're not going to even care. So I pulled up to the gate and it was a lovely lady. And I just said, you're going to kill me. And she goes, oh gosh, what is it? And I said, I bought parking online and I have the email that says I did. She goes, well, do you have the code? And I go, no. And I have no reception. Like it won't open up. She goes, oh, well, I mean, I can't help you really. And I'm like, well, I mean, look right here. I have an email. It says it right there that I've purchased it. It says you purchased, here's the code. She goes, okay, but you need to pull up the code because I have to scan it in order for you to go in. And I said, I'm telling you, I have no reception. Look, I'm pressing the button. She goes, well, you know what? I'll get a supervisor. I need you to just pull over so I can take care of the people. And I'm like, oh no, you've got to be a supervisor in the parking lot. Are you fucking kidding me? Because I don't know where they are and they might be supervising fucking everybody. But I was like, all right. So I pulled over because again, not her fault. I pulled over and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And like I said, I pulled over about 7:42 and then it's 7:44 and then it's 7:46 and nobody's helping me. And I talked to this guy. I go, sir, I literally, I don't, and he goes, it's not my section. Sorry. Like he couldn't help me. And I go, I'm just waiting for a supervisor. Where is the supervisor? He goes, well, I'm sure she'll be here. And now 7:48, 7:50. And now it's 10 minutes. I'm sitting in my car. I get out of my car and I walk over to the box where the girl lives. And I just look and I go, hey, what's going on? I go, I need a supervisor. This show starts, I don't know if you've heard, promptly at 8:00. And I'm sitting here in my car doing nothing. I bought the tickets. Can you just read it and let me go? She goes, well, I told the supervisor. I go, well, where is she? And she goes, she's there with the ponytail. And I go, what's her name? She goes, Ramona. And I just fucking yell as loud as I can. I'm like, Ramona. And she turns around, she looks at me and she waves and she comes over and she goes, what's up, darling? She's very nice. Yeah. I go, listen, I have the email right here. She goes, well, I need the QR code. And I go, I can't open it. She goes, I have no internet. And she goes, honey, we haven't had internet here for 2 years. I said, okay, so what do I do? What do I do? And she goes, well, here, I'm going to give you an email address and you're going to go through this website and you're going to do it. And I go, I just told you I don't have reception. She goes, trust me. And we entered it and we tried to do it. And she goes, I'll be right back. And I go, Ramona, don't leave me. And she's like, I'll be right back. And I go, you can't leave me here. 7:56. And now I've resigned myself to the fact that I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to see the opening. I'm going to miss it. Whatever. And her email thing works. And it comes up and then it just says, I have bought a ticket for the show. So she comes over and I go, I don't know. This is what you told me to go to? She goes, yeah, there's your show ticket. Where's the parking? I go, I just showed you an email. She goes, all right, here's what you should do. Just pay the $50 and then tomorrow send an email to go ahead and try to get the refund. I go, absolutely not. I go, if I pay you $50, they're never giving me back the 40 and I'm not paying $90 to fucking park. And she just goes, well, I don't know. And then she refreshed it and the parking popped up.
Yes.
So she had my phone in her hand. The parking pops up. She taps it, QR code, and she scanned it. And she goes, all right, there you go. Enjoy the show. She goes to walk away. I go, whoa. I go, I need the thing for my windshield. She goes, no, you're general parking. You don't need anything in your windshield. Are you fucking kidding me? I should have just fucking stormtrooped my way to a goddamn parking spot if I don't need anything in the fucking windshield. I waited 14 minutes for you to tell me I don't need permission. I don't need a slip. I was so furious because I could have just done a what were they going to do? Chase me, beat me up? Never fucking happened. They got so much stuff going on. Somebody balls in the fucking air. And I was flustered and frustrated. And I go and I parked and I got out of the car. And once I got out, there was another, like 2 women got out of their car And they were just like, fuck. And I go, yeah, right? Unbelievable. So then we start walking to the clip, and now it's 8:00 as I'm approaching the stadium because I hustled and I was fucking rolling and I fucking ran for the first time in fucking forever. I run to the stadium and the lights are still on and there's no music and it's 8:00, but I know I still got to go through the fucking gate to get in and all that bullshit. And sure enough, I go to the gate, and then when you get close to the stadium, because everybody's parking and you're not part of Elton World yet. Okay? As you get closer to the stadium, now you're surrounded. Now everyone's still standing. Now you get there, and I by the time I ran there and I stood in line to show my ticket, even before I'm in the stadium, I had a mild to intermediate case of boa lung. There was no doubt about it because everyone had feathers and they're flapping them around and they're wearing the eyewear that glows and and everyone's there for the best fucking time. And I'm like, now I'm excited. I'm happy. But also it looked like I was going to a Rocky Horror Midnight Show. I'm not even fucking kidding. Everybody was so dressed up in stack heels and fucking crazy hats. And it was beautiful. So I walk up to the gate and they scan me. I walk in and still no Elton. And I go and I was going to take the elevator because I had to go up to the reserve level, which is not top deck. It's the one just beneath. My seats were basically dead center reserve deck, right above the press box where they have the broadcasters for baseball. And again, I didn't care. It's one seat. So I just wanted to be in the building was the whole point. But I did want to pay for something decent. Yeah. I didn't want to sit in the top deck because top deck at Dodger Stadium's a fucking zoo. So I hustled and I'm going and I go, I could take the elevator, but then the elevator line was ridiculous. And I'm like, well, fuck it, take the stairs. So I took the stairs, but it's like fucking 9 flights of stairs. It was 250 steps. And I'm running up them. I take 2 at a time first, I take 2 at a time. And then my chest is like, you're not fucking doing this. What are you doing? My chest starts burning and my throat is like, yeah, no, I know what you think you're trying to pull, but you're 55 and sedentary. Like you haven't done a fucking thing for 2 years, man. I mean, I'm doing cardio on the treadmill, but that's just fucking 2.5 miles an hour. I'm not doing anything fast. So then I got to walk up the steps, and each time I land, I got to stop. I get to the top, and I finally make it onto my level, and I get around to my seat, and still no Elton, still no fucking Elton. It's like 8:13, and I'm like, I'm in. I'm fucking in. I even stopped and got a fucking soda. I felt so confident. I was so excited. I grabbed a fucking Sprite. I sashayed over to my seat and I go into my lane. And I go down and there's 2 people on the end, a couple. And I get down and I go, who's your buddy? And the guy looks at me and I go, I'm in the lane. I was like trying to be nice. I'm sitting here. This is my row. I'm in those seats. And he's like, oh, okay. And, he just turns his head away. He doesn't get up. And I look at him and I go, seriously? And he goes, what? And I go, I mean, if you want me to try to squeeze by you, that's fine, but it's not going to be pleasant for either of us. And he's just, so he stands up and his girl stands up next to him. And I go through and there's one seat and then there's another couple. So I'm directly between 2 couples. And I wedge myself into the Dodger Stadium seat and I look at the girl on my right and I go, look, I am really sorry. I'm sure I'm squishing you and I've absolutely stolen this armrest. She's like, oh, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's okay. And her boyfriend, the guy who wouldn't get up, leans forward and he goes, what are you talking about? And I go, I'm telling your girl, I'm sorry that I'm squishing her in the seat. Like I'm a big dude. And he just goes, oh, all right. He fucking looks back at the state. I'm like, what are you doing, tough guy? You gonna fucking rumble with me at the Elton John show? Are you fucking kidding?
Look.
So the people next to me, I then turn to this guy. It's him and his girl, and his girl's on the outside. And I go, hey man, I am so sorry. And he's like, no, you're keeping me warm. I go, all right, because he was also a big dude too, and he had a parka on. I go, that's the best answer I've ever heard. I go, so let's huddle and let's stay as warm as possible. And no Elton, but I'm in my seat now, and these people on my left that's like literally. Like I had a devil and an angel on each shoulder. I had on the left side I had an angel, on the right side I got the devil. The girl is just, unfortunately, she's an intermediary, right? So we're sitting there, and then sure enough, boom, they kill the lights, and he opens with Benny and the Jets, which is fucking phenomenal.
Fantastic.
And he plays 2.5 hours.
Wow.
And the show was fucking beautiful. He paid tribute to fallen band members. He had guests. Now the Los Angeles Times said he was going to have Brandy Carlisle and Kiki D
Whoa.
and Dua Lipa.
Wow.
And I was like, and also assorted possible special guests. And I'm here to tell you, he had Brandi Carlile and Kiki D and Dua Lipa.
Wow.
And no other special guests. There was nobody else who showed up,
Aw.
which is fine. Again, I'm there to see Elton. But when I started to get this preview, I was like, this is going to be fucking amazing. And it still was. But there were fireworks. But I will tell you this show was a TikTok by the clock fucking production. Like there was no space for improvisation. You know, the band jammed a few times, but everything was timed to the fucking second. Because the one thing I did want, well, I'll get to this in a second. So the show's going on, and as the show's going on in the audience, there's lights flashing, it looks like everyone has a light that's flashing, and I'm like, what is going on? Like it seemed weirdly coordinated, and I look over at the guy on my left, and this is an hour into the show, by the way. This is how observant I am, because I was looking at the lights and I was like, those are amazing. And then it finally dawned on me, wait a minute, that's the audience that's lit up. Like that's weird. And it would change for every song. It'd be green, or it would blink certain times. So I turn and I look at the dude next to me, and he's got a watch on that's blinking the colors. And I says to him, and I go, did they give you that when you came in? He goes, oh yeah, they were handing them out to everybody when they came in. I go, oh, that's awesome. I go, I've been looking at the blinking, and I never even made the connection that they were given to people. And he goes, oh yeah. And I go, dude, that's beautiful. That's great. And so I turn to watch the show, and Elton is singing, and the guy who I'm keeping warm just kind of reaches over and I look at him, and he gives me a watch. And I go, no, I didn't ask for that reason. I don't want to take your thing. And he goes, they gave me an extra one. And they both, him and his girl, see, they hold up their wrists, and he had one in his pocket, and he just gave it to me. And I teared up. I was like, I got like choked up, where I was like, it was such a nice, magnanimous, super cool, awesome thing to do. And I was like, you're so amazing. You didn't have to do this. He goes, no, please. That's, of course it's fun. And so then I put it on my right hand. I had my left hand watch and my right hand spankly watch. And then I wouldn't let my hoodie go over it. Like I like a badge. So it was open. I wanted to make sure I was part of it, man. I wanted everybody to see my flashing lights. It was so cool. And I didn't tell you that they had, there were people who didn't show up next to them. So like 2 songs in, they got up and they moved over. So I had space on my left and he had space. It was just phenomenal. It was super great. And then Elton finishes, and then they say goodbye, and they do their bowing and stuff, and they're going to do probably an encore, and we all stand up, and we're all clapping, and it's fun. And Elton was incredible. There's certain songs like, you know, deep cuts from a long time ago that I would have really wanted to hear. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to hear, I feel like a bullet in the gun of Robert Ford at this show. I know I'm not, but it was but I still got Funeral for a Friend and Love Lies Bleeding. I still got Burn Down the Mission.
Ooh.
I got Someone Saved My Life Tonight. I got Leave On, which brought up memories. I've got, it was a 25 song set list. And also I checked, then afterwards I looked at all the set lists in different cities, and we got the same one again, because it was regimentally timed. There was no doubt. The only thing we got different was we got Kiki D, and we got Don't Go Breaking My Heart, which was not on the set list anywhere else. And this is his first time performing it with her since 2006.
Wow.
And the only performance of it on the tour, which was pretty great. Brandi Carlile came out and sang Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. And she had a cool custom suit that on the back said Rocket One, because like Elton wore his Elton One, you know, at the first show he ever did. It was fantastic. But no Dua Lipa. She doesn't show up. So we stand up for the encore. You're waiting. He leaves, and we're clapping. And I don't know what possessed this guy. I don't know why it happened. But the dude on my right, the devil on my right shoulder, as I'm clapping and I'm cheering, he leans over to me and he goes, he's got 3 songs left. And I go, I don't want to know. I go, I didn't know any of the songs. I don't want to know the songs, and I don't want to know what's coming up. So and he goes, well, I'm just telling you, you know, it's 3 songs. There's like, he was intimating, I didn't need to clap for an encore. I didn't need to stand up, because I don't know if it bothered his girl, or he just thought I was whatever the fuck, but he was just,
he wanted to ruin your time because he's a terrible person.
After 2.5 hours, like, he decided to lean forward, and he just goes, he goes, I'm just telling you, there's 3 songs left. I go, you know what? I didn't know that. I go, but now I'm trying to figure out what they'll be, which is fun. I go, I think I have 2 of them. I don't want to know them though. I mean, I'd rather just watch them. And he goes, he just doesn't say anything. He just kind of nods his head. And then he stands up again and he leans over and he goes, Cold Heart with Dua Lipa is the first one.
Did you
And
punch him?
Lily, I turned around and I took my glasses off and I said, I'm not kidding. Don't say another fucking word to me. And he's like, well, all right. I just wanted to tell you. I go, I told you, I don't want to fucking know. Don't fucking do this. And if you want to do this, we can do it up on the concourse. And I'm sitting there, my glasses, I put them in my fucking hoodie. I'm just staring in his eyes. And everybody else is like, wee, glitter, flashing watches. Everybody's excited. Elton's getting a robe on. And I was ready to go round and round with this fucking guy. Because, man, who the fuck do you think you are to steal joy from me? Who the fuck do you think you are? And I will tell you this. Earlier in the night, during I forget, goddamn, what song? Oh, during Goodbye Norma Jean. The people in front of me were like swaying their arms and they were drunk and they were having fun. Everybody's having fun, but they wouldn't stop talking. And they started talking. And they started talking to that guy, and a guy a row in front of them. So 2 rows in front of me stood up and he goes, stop talking. Stop.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, what? And he goes, I didn't pay to hear you talk. And he was an old man with gray hair. He turns around, he sits down because you just get fucking tired of it.
Yeah.
But I literally invited this guy up, and I used the word concourse. I don't think I've said concourse in 10 years. I invited this guy up to the concourse to go round and round before Elton John's fucking encores. And his girl, and he just kind of shrunk instantly. He's like, oh no, I didn't. All right, yeah, I just thought you wanted to know. I go, I told you I didn't want to know. Told you. And then his girl's like, she stands up, she's like, okay, and she sits him down, and she goes, we're really sorry. And I go, that's fine. Let's have fun. Let's have fun. And then Elton came out, and honestly, that I thought, guess what the first encore was?
I don't know what.
Oh, because I had wondered in my head, I'm like, Dua Lipa didn't show up. Guess what? She comes out for Cold Heart for the first encore. And again, truthfully, I got to be honest, if he's going to ruin anything, ruin that.
Ruin that one. Yeah.
Because I don't fucking care. And honestly, I didn't need it. There's plenty of other songs I would have put in that spot that he should have done, but I don't give a fuck. I can't complain about the set list. But he closed with Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And I knew he would. I had my brain, I was like, it's going to be Goodbye Yellow Brick Road and probably Pinball Wizard, whatever. But I think it was your song and Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And he brings out his family beforehand, his kids and the Dave, whatever the fuck that guy's name is. And then then he brings out Bernie Taupin. And I did not think Bernie Taupin would be there. And he comes out, and Bernie Taupin looks like Moby's grandpa. I mean, he's just this completely nondescript kind of baldish guy. Awesome. And but again, I thought to myself, I'm like, to see them hug and then hold hands and look, what they meant to me, what they meant so much in my life. The fact, what if they didn't meet?
Yeah.
What does that do for their lives? What does that do for me? For so many people, there were people in the audience, and Elton pointed them out. They put the camera on them. Someone had a sign, this is my 87th show. This is my 161st show. This is and they're wearing, again, the hats and the fucking glasses and the boas. And I found a friend, my buddy Mike, I didn't even know was a fan, and he's seen him 30 times, and he saw him in 1975 in Nassau Coliseum in Long Island. He's like, that was the first of many. And he says, I had to be in the building for this. And it's just, when you see an artist, again, 75 years old, to know he's an extraordinary man.
Yeah.
Because in addition to being an artist and the work that he's done, on stage, to do the things that he's done off stage to raise all the money for AIDS awareness and for hospitals. And there are countless things that you can say. I'm not much on afterlife and any of that, but if there is anything like that, he should be running the joint. I mean, he's just been such a good person his whole life. And, the only abuse he performed was upon himself, it appeared, you know what I mean? And then he'd take it out on whoever. But then he recovered, and Rocket Man was such a perfect arc because it ended with I'm Still Standing and his recovery. And then since then, he's just done nothing but good, worlds of good. He's been knighted. He's just an extraordinary person. And I had to be there for it. And I was so happy to be there for the end. And I would have preferred, again, this will sound nitpicky, Like I mentioned, it was a absolute whiz bang Vegas type of show.
Yeah.
But I would have loved if he just did Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by himself on the piano at the end. That would have been ideal. I would have just a hint of what he used to be, like kind of a bookending of bringing it back to where it all started was him and a piano. But the band kicked in and they poured sugar all over it, and that's totally fine. It was worth it because it's a brilliant song. But then he finished as the band played, and he walked over and he got on a platform, and it took him into the sky. It lifted him up and it took him back, and then he walked off stage and we were done. And and then afterwards, the people on my right, the devil on my right, they couldn't leave fast enough. Like they were just like they fucking. Because I already confirmed that I was a maniac. You know what I mean? Because I took my fucking glasses off and used the word concourse. That's not a good combination for anybody. And then afterwards I wound up hanging out with the people on my left because we were just, you're not going to get out of that stadium.
Yeah.
And I hung out with the people with Raul and Sonia with an I, not a Y. And we just talked for 50. I told her my monkey story. I told them about seeing him, and it was great. It was cool to talk to people and to experience that and be with people and be happy. And I was so glad that I went. It was fantastic. And I love the idea of that guy periodically just thinking about the word concourse or thinking of the day, because again, I don't know what his end game was, but I mean, I was going to bash his fucking skull. And if he ruined the end of the fucking show for me, he was like, what are you doing, man? But it was fantastic and I loved it. So I had a great time.
Good.
And yeah, it was super cool. So you know what? I give thanks. How about that? We'll wrap it up with a Thanksgiving deal. I give thanks for the fact that I was able to say goodbye to somebody. The way I put it on Facebook was another extraordinarily loud voice from my youth, and from even my middle age. I can't stress enough how much him and his music mean to me, and it's incredible. And I was very happy and I don't want to say honored because I paid for the fucking privilege, but privileged, I guess, would be a better word, to be in the building when he said goodbye.
Yeah.
And if you're in Europe, go see him. And it's funny because it's like, well, whatever. I have other friends who are like, we can't sing anymore. And I'm just like, I don't fucking care. I'm in the building for nostalgia purposes and to honor a guy who has meant so much to me throughout my entire life. If you can't hit the high notes in Benny, I got news for you. A ton of people can't hit the fucking high notes in Benny. But he also brought in enough people who could hit all the high notes and all the notes that he couldn't hit. So it made it a perfect experience. It was beautiful.
Good.
And again, I saw him on the Nikita tour before he had throat surgery, and he sounded like fucking Grover. I mean, it was fucking rough. So to see him now and to see him happy, and just to see him for this final time and get to say kind of goodbye and stand and cheer and let him know. And again, I didn't let him know anything. We all did en masse, but still, it was terrific. So I had a great time. Are you ready for Thanksgiving?
I am. I have made pinwheel cookies, and
Nice.
tomorrow I am making a Rice Krispie treat turkey and stuffing it with candy corn,
Wow.
and taking that as a dessert for the
Prisoners?
Thanksgiving feast.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
No, for real people.
I'm gonna
That's-
say, Tim at Shin Ramen, right? At Shin Sushi
Sure,
Ramen and
yeah.
Yakitori. Okay, he closes for Thanksgiving so that his staff can be with their family.
Okay.
But he
So you-
opens up the restaurant, cooks a turkey and prime rib, and gets some honey baked ham, and has a potluck in the restaurant for any friends that don't have a place to go.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's we're gonna bring a couple pies and some desserts and go hang out there for a couple hours. Eddie's family's going with his brother's in-laws, so we're not going to see them this Thanksgiving. We saw them last Thanksgiving.
I
So
see.
yeah, so I'm ready. Thanksgiving is not a huge holiday for me. It's Turkey Day and time to just kick back with some friends. And I know I asked you if you were busy, but of course you could have come if you weren't so busy.
No, you were nice. Oh, I'm so busy. Oh my Christ. Let me ask you this: you're bringing a couple of pies. Are you also bringing a handwritten apology for this candy corn abomination? Because that does not sound thankful at all for anybody.
Sometimes I stuff it with M&Ms, but I thought candy corn is funnier this year.
I literally Rice Krispie treats and candy corn. I wouldn't use that for a fucking piñata. And that's just me. I don't care for either of those treats, and I know people certainly love the Rice Krispie treats, but the rest is not for me. I just no thanks.
What's really funny is watching people slice it to get a piece because they're all like, "Oh, it's so pretty! I don't want to take it apart." It just makes me laugh every year.
Nice. No, I'll be going to Lenny's, and last year it's funny. I didn't go over there till like 5 in the afternoon, and we didn't eat till 8. And again, Thanksgiving kind of that's my deal. Like I love Christmas too. It's all going too fast right now. And I don't know if that's just because I'm an old man, but
yes,
it seems like Thanksgiving is just fucking here. Like it was just Halloween yesterday. And quite frankly, it was just August. I mean, everything is fucking rolling downhill. So I thought today, I was like, man, I'm going to be sad when Christmas and when it's all gone again. And cause it's going super quick. I know it's crazy. But I'm going to go to Lenny's, and like I said, I went there at 5:00 last year. I'm going to go at I think I might get there at like 11 a.m. I said, dude, let's get appetizers and just watch football all day, and we'll watch a movie that night, and we'll eat, and it'll be fun. And I want the house to smell great. And that's my fetish or whatever the fuck, or it makes me, it's the hug I need that I always miss. But I'm excited for it. Yeah. I mean, it should be good. But I will say this makes me mad. Lenny, they only need me to bring vanilla ice cream. And I like to bring a dish. Like I always like to bring something. I think I've decided as a man, I think that every Thanksgiving needs a pasta course. Like, so I wanted to bring some lasagna possibly or something. He's like, man, we got a lot of food, dude. We got a lot of food. And last year, again, I brought macaroni and cheese, and I literally went home with 3/4 of it. Like they were like, just take it, because his daughters won't eat the one I brought. I brought a Cajun mac and cheese, and they make a certain kind that they like. That's essentially like white people macaroni and cheese, just has no seasoning, just creamy cheese. And you're like, ugh.
I still think you should make what you want and bring a small portion with you so you have it there for the holiday for yourself.
I did think about that. That might be a possibility. But I got to I'm in charge of vanilla ice cream and whatever I want to drink.
Are you making it fresh?
Of course I am. I've been churning it since we started. Didn't you see me pedaling? I'm pedaling a bike. I have an actual like an old timey. You didn't know what that was.
Was that or stomping grapes? I wasn't sure what you were doing over there behind the desk.
You ever see that lady get the grape fall? Oh, is that brutal? All right. Well, I love you. Thank you for being here.
No, I want to know what your go-to vanilla ice cream is then.
I'm going to go to the store and see what they got. For me, well, you got to get vanilla bean first of all.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, like the Breyers vanilla bean seemed like the Cadillac of ice cream because it had the black flecks in it. You're like, ooh. Yeah. But now you grow up and you learn about, there's Jenny's ice cream, which is $9 a pint. And then there's fucking McConnell's and there's Salt and Straw right by my house. There's Salt and Straw has some they literally have a turkey ice cream. Like they have a stuffing ice cream. I know it's insane. But I thought about going there and grabbing their vanilla, but when I get to the store, I'll just look and whatever speaks to me probably. Cause ice cream is one of the things I lost after my surgery. I can have it, but I can only eat like 5 spoonfuls before I'm done. Yeah. It's a thing that it fucks me up. Like, cause the sugar goes right into my bloodstream and I get all fucking spinny. But of course, during the pandemic, I bought a fucking half gallon of blackberry ice cream and a bottle of Magic Shell and just fucking cleaned house on that. Magic Shell. Here's the best thing. If you don't know what Magic Shell is, this industrial product that was invented by some like 3M, but they turned it into a dessert topping somehow. New Shimmer is a floor wax. It's a dessert topping, you cow. But here's the thing. Here's a Magic Shell trick. If you know what it is, put your bowl of ice cream and then take your spoon and put your spoon under the ice cream, but with enough space, like not completely under, and then squirt the Magic Shell all over. So then the Magic Shell runs into your spoon and it forms like a huge chocolate, like fucking coral reef on your spoon that you can then bite into while you're eating your ice cream. Oh, that's a fat man's delight. Love it.
I just had a childhood thing where I bought Jet Marshmallow Puff and peppermint ice cream.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And got through like a third of both of them and went, that was really good. I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, I can't eat this now for another 6 months. I don't know what the hell. Because that ice cream sat in my fridge for like a month and a half. Hold on. Good Lord. I have an orchestra here to play us off today.
Thank you.
It's a special holiday show.
All right. I am going to go. I will see you next week. Have a good turkey day. Everybody else have a good turkey day too. And and
let me throw this out real quick. We owe phone calls or Zooms to people. We're going to be contacting you to go ahead and line those up. and try to get our schedules together for the burlesque deck. And thank you to anybody who thinks of us, and we appreciate it. We
Yeah.
look forward to talking to you.
Grateful.
And, happy Thanksgiving, beautiful.
All right. Bye.
If there's anything I like more than me, it's people who like me. I love me, but if you love me, I love you. 'Cause you know why, we both love me. How great am I? Let's talk about that for a while, and by a while, I mean forever.
Charlie Doe Podcast.
Hi, it's comedian Jen Kirkman, and you will love my podcast, No Fun, the Jen Kirkman Podcast. If you don't believe me, don't take my word for it. Here's what the Onion AV Club had to say. What actually makes Jen Kirkman's podcast funny is her inherent knack for cultivating conflict, even talking into a microphone in a room by herself. Kirkman is eternally embattled, but she tempers her cynicism with sweetness, and more often than not, she's right. No Fun, everywhere you get podcasts.